All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Hey, Carlos. Whoa, I got an echo. Okay, I'm good. Doing good. Thank you for asking. Yes, it looks like, well, I'm hoping spring is coming. It's the morning weather report here, and the skies are blue today. They were quite gray and stormy yesterday, so maybe we'll actually get some spring.
Yeah, so we're ready for it, man. We're done with the winter gloomy skies and whatever. We're ready for some good weather. Good morning, friends. Hopefully everybody's good. Just trying to get my gappers list. Where'd it go? Here it is. Here is today's gappers list brought to you by tradingterminal.com. As you can see, very, very light this morning. Only BA down 3.25.
Not significant, but we'll talk about
that is
that
big.
when we get there.
I got so many questions on this news headline, so I think it's the same thing you saw. We haven't spoken about it, but I'll wait for you to tell me what you saw when we get to it. But yeah, very flat markets today. The market's just tired, man. I mean, look at the run the market has been doing lately. It's just tired. I mean, up, and down, and tariffs and no tariffs, and pauses on tariffs, and electronics are good. You're not good. You're fired. I mean, it's just all over the place. It's tired. It needs a break, and today looks like that day, Peter. So we'll dive into all of that. Again, not a lot on this list, but we'll find stuff to talk to you about and hopefully not piss you off too much. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun today. Peter, let's go. You know what, Peter? When we don't have a nice straight line that's scripted on, okay, we got tons of gappers lists, we got this, me and you can get off the rails very quickly. And half of the group will be happy and the other half will be not happy and vice versa. And it's all good. You know, we're all a big old family here. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun today.
It's a shame when we're just trying to talk about stock related news, but our objective is try not to piss too many people off.
Absolutely.
Welcome
Here
to
it
the
is.
world. Anyways,
let's get into our U.S. economic calendar, Peter. What is at least something's on there today? That's good.
yeah. So we have a couple of economic events that coming out this morning, and most of them already happened. So So let's start with the import and export price indices. Anyways, they both were expected to be about 0.1% growth. They came out, though, with the export price index flat at 0 and the import price index at minus 0.1. So that shows a little bit of contraction in the economy, people buying and selling less stuff. The Empire State Manufacturing Survey, this is a strange one. It is heavily looked at. People are looking to see what the number is. It's wild. It varies wildly. Now, the expectation was that it was going to come out at a negative 12.8. Basically, this is a relative index that anything over 0 is considered good and shows growth in the economy. Anything under 0 shows contraction. And it's only been over 0 for like 3 or 4 times in the last year or so. And this expected rating was going to be one of the lowest in a year. However, it just came out and the number is negative 8 point, what is it here? 8 point something. Hold on, 8.1. So not as bad as expected, but still contraction in the manufacturing sector in New York. So I don't know what to do with that. The market has not really reacted that much to it, to be honest. All right, we have that economic data. The only other thing, we've got a couple of Fed speakers, only one during the market hours. It's Barkin, who's speaking just around 11:30, and then there is one happening tonight at 7. I didn't bother even mentioning that because it's well after the market closes. We do have some earnings, and interestingly, they have not moved enough to make it on our gappers list, but we'll talk about them anyways when we get there. As earnings season is starting, we had a number of the banks yesterday. We're continuing today with a few more banks. But as I said, not enough action to even get them on our list. So, let's see if anything's popped up on the gappers, and then we can talk about those.
Yeah, absolutely, friends. All right. Thanks, Peter. Let's get to our gappers list. Again, gap up, nothing's happening there, but we're not going to just go let it go like that, Peter. Is there anything that you like that might be slightly gapping up this morning that might be worth watching?
Oh, well, yeah, I guess we get to jump right in. So, well, unlike yesterday when it was pretty much green across the board, we do have a little bit of a mixed picture today. A lot more red than green, but we're not talking about big movements. So, the only two green things I've got that I was going to talk about off the top on the earnings front were two banks, Citibank and Bank of America. So C and BAC, both of them had earnings this morning. Both beat their numbers. Both said that the trading activity is really what carried the bank. Citigroup, for example, their trading activity was up by 23%. So they've been taking advantage of these markets. And their trading division, anyways, has been earning record profits for the bank. So not the first time we heard that. There were some of the banks yesterday that reported that said the same thing. So or Goldman Sachs, anyways, that reported yesterday said the same thing. So yeah, Citigroup only up 0.9%. Oh no, it's up 1% now, so it's moved another couple of pennies. But yeah, it has not been moving all that much. Bank of America up 1.4% this morning. It had been up more earlier, but yeah, it's just sitting here right now. Neither one of these, frankly, are big movers, right? We don't get great trading out of them, but we sometimes just need to keep an eye on them. They do make a big part of the overall market, the second largest sector that make up our market index. So it's worth understanding what the banks are doing. Since we don't have much on the gappers list, I might as well mention they're not the only banks that have reported. PNC Bank also reported. They also beat their numbers. PNC even worse often in trading from trading activity than Bank of America or Citigroup, and they are actually gapping down a little bit oddly. But I mean, we're talking such low volume, it's not even relevant. So those are the three banks I was watching. The other one that did have earnings that I was keeping an eye on, but it is gapping down this morning, is Johnson and Johnson. So Johnson and Johnson had earnings earlier this morning. They are also they also reported good numbers. They beat their revenue, earning $21.9 billion versus a 21.6, and overachieving on their earnings, earning $2.77 a share versus $2.57 a share. So Johnson and Johnson should be in a good position. Now, that being said, the banks and Johnson & Johnson have basically all, it seems like they've all got together and they've all agreed they're going to be sharing a very common message, which is there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. The tariffs mean that we don't understand exactly what's going to be happening, and we're going to be cautious or removing our guidance. So that's generally the message. Johnson & Johnson on the sales side, though, did say that they do think that they're going to overachieve on sales, but they pulled back on their bottom line. So they don't know how much it's going to cost them to sell these things, but they do think they're going to have a good sales year. So that's interesting. That's a little bit of a difference compared to the banks that are just being extraordinarily cautious. Carlos, Johnson & Johnson, I'm not sure if that's something that you've ever traded. I watch it on occasion. It's not bad. It's a NYSE stock, which means the early market volume you can't usually use as a gauge to how it's going to move after the opening bell rings, but it's hit or miss.
Yeah, it is hit or miss. They've been having some really better daily chart, at least better days here. You can see here how wide they are. But again, this has been caused by just the overall market, and obviously there's been better stocks to look at. And again, it's so funny, Peter. I look at this daily here, and let's take a look like a Tesla, for example, or Nvidia. Let's take a look at Nvidia. Like you would think, if you go back and look at a lot of these days, you see, oh wow, this is a great trading day for you guys. These are not easy days, man. They look good here after the fact, but they have been very difficult to trade. Maybe it's just because of the market open that we usually trade here. They have been very tough, but for the most part, they haven't been that clean as they look here on this chart. So I'm like, wait a minute, last week was not that clean for me. So it's very interesting how the daily represents something completely different than when you see actually when you're intraday trading these days. So yeah, so very interesting there. But yeah, to go back to Johnson & Johnson, same thing. They have similar activity as the SPY and the overall market does. They won't be on my list today, but yeah, we'll see. And then the banks, you mentioned the banks. I mean, it's just crazy how everything seems so expensive and people are cutting back and doing this, and the banks don't care. They're just making money left and right. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I
So
know. I know. It's
record
crazy, isn't
breaking quotas for these guys, right? I mean, just massive. I guess as the price goes up on things, they're if they're charging by percentage, they're making more. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works, but yeah,
well,
good
being that
stuff.
it's their trading, it seems to be their trading arms that are doing really well. So yeah, they themselves are trading these markets and taking advantage of the moves. And I mean, heck, we've seen evidence of why it could be quite lucrative for them. I mean, there was that event in the White House last week where Trump brought in a bunch of buddies, including some of these banks, and congratulated them on how much they made. And we saw him sort of give sneak peeks as to what he was going to be doing policy wise, such that they could get ahead of it. So sure, I mean, that's look. I mean, it's not like this type of thing hasn't been happening for a long period of time, but it is a little. It's always startling when it gets sort of rubbed in your face, isn't it?
Right,
A
right,
little
right in
bit.
your face. Like if in case you didn't
Yeah.
read between the lines, here it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Pow.
Like I mean, come on. We know that this type of thing has been
Yeah, this
happening
goes
forever. I
on.
mean,
Yeah.
how long have been people talking about some of the politicians, some people both in the House and the Senate who have been making record money off of things that they, obviously know is going to happen. So, and anyways, and you've got to believe if you're a CEO of a US major bank, you're going to be tied in, right? You want to know what's happening. You and your senior people are going to be as connected as you can to understand what policy changes are going to happen. How can I take advantage of it? What's the where's the market likely to go? And they're not flying blind on this stuff. I mean, that's smart business from their point of view, but it feels different when it's like it's overt. So
Yeah, yeah,
anyway.
could not agree with you more. All right, friends, let's get to our gappers list. Gapping down now. Only BA on here today, and they're gapping down quite a bit, 3% at the moment, and 540,000 shares traded. So, Peter, me and you probably saw the same article headline from China. What's the latest and greatest with BA?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure it would be the greatest, but it certainly is the latest. So yeah, Boeing's on the front line here, as so many predicted. China is not going to be bullied, so they are making a clear stance here that they are going to go toe to toe with the U.S. on this trade war, and if the U.S. wants to put tariffs and threaten, I guess, their economy, then China's going to retaliate. And if you ever want a demonstration of how China's government and system differs from the US, this is it, in my mind. So
Mm.
China has ordered all of its national airlines to halt deliveries on Boeing jets. They've gone further to say that they're not allowed to order aircraft related gear from any US company. A difference, right? Because in the US, I mean, the US government could not order all of the US airlines to not buy something. They could strongly suggest, they could encourage, but they couldn't order them to stop and then have an immediate yes sir, we're stopping, right? Not yet, some people are
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
But it is a sort of a different model. So China has clearly said, all right, like this is our next um, front of attack, if you will. And yeah, we are stopping Chinese American jet deliveries. Now, that being said, we have to keep in mind uh, the Chinese airline industry still needs to function. They do have a lot of Boeing jets in service and in production. They're going to need parts for those jets. So, like there's some, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work because they did say any aircraft related gear, like they've got to keep them running. So I assume they're going to need parts. Are there aftermarket producers of this, or
Oh,
maybe
no, 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 no.
maybe well, hold on. But we have to keep in mind, right? There's other big news that we haven't talked about, or that we didn't talk about yesterday, that happened over the weekend, where China has very clearly said they are eliminating all copyright restrictions that they'd previously had, right, on the production of goods in China, which often kept to date it's been focused on luxury goods, right? So where there was stuff produced in China, or they had the ability to produce Louis Vuitton bags or Jimmy Choo shoes, or I don't know, whatever else luxury stuff is going on. They've now they said they're not going to be enforcing these copyright restrictions, such that Chinese knockoffs can be much more freely made, as if they weren't being freely made before. But now they said like gloves are off. So it could be that where, let's face it, a lot of these parts may be Boeing parts. I really don't know what their supply chain looked like, but it's very likely they're already produced out of Chinese factories in part or in whole. And they could just say, we're just copying them. We're not going to buy them from you anymore. We're just going to take all of your plans for existing jets and produce them. Now, this is me speculating, right? So, let's not go crazy here. This is just Peter's speculation, but it seems logical that they may be able to do that. The other side of this coin is there's not really a lot of producers of big jets. So if they want jets, like who do you go to, right? You go to Boeing or Airbus. So it looks like Airbus may be in for some more business if this keeps up, because they're the really only other manufacturer of like large commercial airliners that I'm aware of. So
I swear, man, it's like sometimes it's like watching kids fighting at a playground with these. I mean,
well,
what are you doing? Like,
to a certain degree,
there's only two big airlines, Airbus and Boeing, and sometimes Airbus, unfortunately, cannot take all the business from Boeing because you've got to see the wait time for these aircrafts. It's not it's not a month or two, right? It's years. Right. So it's like, this is the most stupidest thing I ever heard from China. I mean, you're going to stop, you're going to basically bring your airline business to a halt. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, if you look on the other side, China's demonstrated in the past a strong ability to mobilize their economy when they're sufficiently motivated, right? And like, I don't know how close they would be to producing their own jets, their own commercial airlines.
Not even close.
I don't know. I mean, I would think that it would take quite a while, right? Like, because as much as Boeing has had issues, we were joking it was like a year ago, right, about the doors falling off the planes and issues happening. But it's a very complex supply chain and logistical effort to produce, a functioning airliner, right? Like, it's probably one of the most complex devices out there in the world. So and to have it work consistently for not only years but decades at a high level of safety that would allow it to fly internationally is no small feat. So like, I don't want to understate it, but if anybody could pull it off, China's got more manufacturing know-how and engineering chops than probably the rest of the world combined. So I mean, I don't know. Like, it would be it'll be scary, but interesting to see what happens. They already have one, according to some people in our chat room. They already have.
I never heard of that. I didn't know that.
The Comac. I've never heard of it either.
What is this?
Yeah.
This is
okay. Well, I mean, hey, it's quite possible, right? It would sort of make sense that this would be a sector that they might want to get into. But anyways, look. All of this is speculation. It doesn't matter in the immediate term. What matters for us is Boeing is like the one thing on our gap down list today, the one thing that's moving more than the 2%. Even that is only down 3%. We have seen Boeing be so resilient when it's had bad news. I was just mentioning the fact that, when the door flew off the plane, and they've had other issues, and, Boeing seems to just somehow bounce back. They're a lot more than just commercial airliners, of course, but it's a big visible part of their business. So today, who knows what's going to happen? They are gapping down on relatively low volume, considering the news in my mind. So yes, I think it's worth watching. Boeing and I don't get along, though. It's not a stock I like to trade. I just don't know why. I cannot figure that stock out. I've got a list of stocks that I just sort of sometimes watch, but generally avoid trading because they always treat me poorly. Boeing's one of them, and for no good reason, really, but that's what it is.
So I'm looking at this, this C919 is a Chinese airline, but they don't have no FAA approval, so they can't even fly into Europe and US. So again, it's not that simple, it's not that simple. So we'll see. This will be short-lived. But all right, here it is.
There's Carlos's prediction. It'll be short-lived. We'll see.
Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna stop ordering aircrafts for your national airliners? I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
You're hurting your own.
They can go to Airbus. Maybe it'll be all Airbus.
It could be that. It's not that simple either, Peter. You know why? Because you have all your parts and everything set up for Boeing. You can't just switch everything to Airbus. That takes years. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to something else in the gappers list, which is Not much, Peter. Nothing else gapping down today. So
Yeah,
anything you
it's
like this morning?
well, we've got a couple things. I mean, I'll just talk about things that are gapping up or down because everything's moving. It's just not enough to make our list. So, PLTR continues to be sort of a fun mover. It had some good movement yesterday. I mean, the whole market moved as a block for the most part yesterday. I noticed PLTR was moving much similar to the larger stocks that tend to move with the market. So, Carlos, you and I were talking about this as we were trading live in the morning, how Nvidia, Microsoft, Tesla, and PLTR were all sort of moving, and they looked very much like the market overall. So I'm liking PLTR, but understand it's not moving independently. It's just moving with good range, and it's sort of mirroring the market moves. The one that wasn't following along in the exact same pattern was Apple again. And Apple, while it did move yesterday, Apple was not exactly following the market, to the same degree. So if you squinted, it sort of looked similar, but then it sort of flattened out earlier. It did make the recovery that some of the other stocks did. So I think PLTR and Apple are both worth watching today. Tesla just continues to be a good trader. I'm never going to take it off my list, at least not anytime soon, likely, because it just keeps moving. And I already mentioned Nvidia, of course. These are my go-to. So on a day like today, where you've got nothing specific moving, those are the types of stocks that I'm absolutely going to be keeping an eye on just to see what they're doing. Outside of that, yesterday, a couple of the ones that we were watching and a lot of our members were both trading and watching at the open, were Amazon and Google. And they sort of had different movements. Amazon, very weak yesterday off the open. Looked like it was going to make a recovery, came back up to the VWAP and then dropped, and really had a pretty poor day yesterday as it dropped a few dollars here into the close. Google had a slightly better day. It didn't quite drop as much, but still, they were both in play yesterday. Carlos says we were talking about them. Neither one of those are our favored stocks because they're always just a little flatter than some of the other ones. They
Yeah,
don't quite give the same opportunity.
yeah, I see that as well. So I'm the same way with you there. I don't find them amazing. But yeah, anything else, Peter, as far as stocks?
Yeah, well, the other one I think it might be worth watching is BABA. Chinese stock. It's been interestingly resilient here in the face of all the news that we've got on the tariff wars and stuff. Now, with this news that that China's taking, put a target on the airline industry. We just got to wait. We've got to wait to see what's coming out of the White House, and you may want to keep Baba or your favorite Chinese stock on the radar, just in case that announcement comes out and there's more retaliation coming out of the White House. We could see some impact here, but who knows what form that's going to take, right? Will it be same industry, different industry? Will there even be a response? I mean, usually there has been, right? It's not like the Trump administration not to respond to these things, but I can't even predict what form that might take. So this could be a wait for the news type of day, right? So we'll find out together. It'll be interesting, I think, because it is pretty quiet, right? We had our early economic data, again, import export news, not huge market movers. So I'm thinking that we're all just with bated breath watching the Twitter feeds, watching Truth Social, wherever you're watching, to see what is going to be happening, and we'll see. I mean, it could be quiet, right? We could have nothing all day, or we could get some big reaction that might cause this market to really jump again, up or down. You got me. My guess would be pretty much any reaction is likely to move the market down, but I don't want to predict that because we've seen some unexpected moves. So just be ready.
Yeah, 100%, man. Looking at our gappers list, I do see a couple of things popping up here. We did talk about some already, like Citigroup,
Yep.
with earnings and stuff like that, and Bank of America. Again, they don't trade well. That's why they're not on my watch list. If anything, I'll put Bank of America on my secondary list. But that's about it. These tickers don't usually do all that well. Bank of America looks a little bit better than Citigroup at the moment at 1.7 million, up 2% almost. But again, there's just not great. So, all right, we'll stop here. Let's go to you guys. See what you guys like
It,
this morning. Go ahead, Peter.
I just noticed, go back to the gappers list. I noticed
Yeah,
that USAR jumped onto the list.
yeah.
Interesting that that's popped up here. This is USA Rare Earth Inc., which mines rare earth metals. We hadn't talked about this. There was some news out of the White House on this as well, right? Where they were looking to try and increase the production of rare earth metals, because a lot of them, I mean, a lot of the mining for these strange metals that we've never heard of, and we were talking about this into the close actually with Brian and Jared yesterday. A lot of that production comes out of China. So that it makes sense that there's diversification. I don't know if there's a real plan or if this is maybe just on the rumor, right? The news that there's going to be an increased focus. It's good for this company. Obviously, this comes with costs, and it's going to make scarcity a bigger problem, because some of these metals are things that like you've never heard of, that are used in very specialized. It's usually very specialized medical, military, or sort of high tech equipment. So that's used for very specialized purposes. But yeah, it always amazes me the metals that we absolutely need. These things that are. I'm like, I had no idea that was even an important metal. So, anyways, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, USAR on the list. I don't know what to expect of it. So far, the trading volume is significantly higher than normal, but will it be trading through the open? Tough to tell. I mean, normally this thing only gets about 1.4 million shares, so the volume is going to have to go up, significantly for it to be an interesting day trading stock.
Agree. Yesterday they put in 11.5. So yesterday they had a big day as far as volume goes compared to what they normally do. So maybe today could be another one like that. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe a secondary. We got the space for today. So we could put in a secondary, USAR. Something that I don't think I ever watched before, but today we'll see what it does here. Okay, let's go to our community, guys. See what you guys like this morning. Again, we haven't looked at any of our usual suspects, which I'm thinking a lot of you guys are going to call out anyways. So let's start here in chat and see what's on your guys' minds this morning as we start with a pretty flat market right now. So take a look over in our chat room. I see Avinachi's in the building. Good morning to you. Let's see what else we got going on here. Tickers. PDD. Pretty quiet. I don't see any volume on PDD, so I'd rather watch, if I'm interested in watching maybe some Chinese tickers, maybe BABA will be the one. It's pretty flat right now, but again, Peter spoke about this a little bit and some of the things that could be happening there. It could have happened with PDD as well, but I think BABA is usually my favorite, as you guys know, Chinese ticker. So I'm going to throw this on the list here today. I do like the volume. I don't like that they're not gapping up much at the moment. I will throw them on a secondary because of that, and then we'll leave the primary list open for something that has a little more volume this morning if we could find something. Now, what else we have here? BABA definitely better. Yes, Sunday, agreed. Tesla, Nvidia, of course, Tesla, Nvidia. We are going to watch those for sure. Vinia. So here's Tesla, which again the daily looks pretty interesting here with these wicks we've been getting the last couple of days. But we will be watching this one. Going to remove the levels there because you see it's just stuck between this range in the last 3 or so trading days. Just stuck between here, not really moving too much, between 260 and we'll call it 249 or so. So yeah, Tesla and Nvidia will be on the list. Nvidia, we love to watch this one. Again, very explosive. Daily's looking rather nice if we can get green. So far has been in the green and in the red pre-market. So you got some movement here and you got the volume as always. So yeah, let's throw Tesla here. Let's throw Nvidia as well on our primary list. Rocket Lab, RKLB. Rocket Lab, what's going on with them today? So I'm not seeing no significant volume. I'm not sure if they're running any type of news or something for them today, but the volume is not there, and typically they're not a great trader. Yesterday, beautiful sell-off like Amazon, man. That was an incredible sell-off on Rocket Lab.
Yeah, they did have some news that they didn't really move on it as much as I would have thought, but they have been added to a multi-billion-dollar contract with the U.S. and the U.K. to expand hypersonic technology development with a program called HASTE, the HASTE launch vehicle. So there you go. Rocket Lab been brought on board. I mean, there was space news in the last couple of days that we haven't really talked about, as a bunch of I don't know what to call them. A bunch of women were sent into space and brought back successfully, but it's not a tradable activity because it was using Bezos's rocket. So that all happened, and I was surprised. Like, none of the tradable space companies really moved as a result of that. But it was like a big PR stunt, right? Katy Perry went up into space, and Bezos's fiance, and who else? There was a friend of Oprah. I can't remember her name. I just remember seeing the picture where Gail King. Yeah, she did not look happy. Oh my goodness,
She looked pissed. I'm like,
oh
are they
man,
forcing her to go on this?
Oh, apparently Oprah convinced her to go, and like made her go, and yeah,
Did she pay for it?
She was scared. She looked scared, anyways.
She did not look happy. She hit the bell like,
she did not.
I'm like,
Yeah,
she is
yeah,
not happy
yeah.
about this.
She was not happy. But anyways, but I was trying to find some tradable activity out of that, but there really wasn't anything. It was just an interesting anecdote, right? So they went up to space. They had their photo shoot. They brought them all back. Bezos tripped trying to find the door to the capsule when it came back. That was a little entertaining, but other than that, yeah, not much else going on with that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So for Rocket Lab, I mean, I don't know. It's here. It's got some volume. I don't see it that interesting. The daily does look interesting more than anything. But as far as having it on my list, I don't see it right now. NMAX, is NMAX going to be active today? Who knows? I'm sorry, that's for Bull. So NMAX. NMAX, the low flow that keeps on taking people's money here. So I don't know, man. Be careful, guys, with this thing. It's just, I mean, it's fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. I love watching these stocks. I love to see the activity and the violence that we see in these price actions. But other than that, I don't recommend you touching this, especially if you're not a professional low flow trader. Just stay away from it. There's other ways to make money, and this is probably one of the hardest ones. Nothing wrong with low flow stocks, but they just require a level of experience that a lot of us, starting out, do not have, right? So just be mindful of that.
It was pretty bold for this to have gone public, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, anyways, because it's NMAX, it's Newsmax, right? This is a media, like a media company. We all know that media companies have not been doing that well recently. So to launch one publicly feels like you were sort of asking for this type of price reaction. I'm actually surprised it went up for the first 2 days. Somebody was really bullish on it, but somebody also got stuck at $250 and is really not a happy camper right now. So it's anyways, we'll see where this thing goes, but yeah, not really a tradable offering.
Yeah, man. I'm just seeing in chat here, Andrew is up and running and saying good morning. I mean, he's not playing around. He's really like a new person. He's waking up early every day so far this week. So it's only been 2 days, so we'll see how far it goes. But man, he's on it. All right, friends. So far on my primary list, Tesla, Nvidia. Secondary list, I got a bunch of stuff on that you can see at the bottom. What else, friends? 904. Let's try to come up with two more good ones, right? What we have? Bank of America. MP is interesting. What is MP? MP Materials. I've never seen this before, at least don't recall. Just seems light on volume. It is a 7%. It was nice yesterday as well. Let's take a look yesterday how it traded. Here, what we have going on. Yeah. Oh, Peter, what are you doing, Peter? Let me see. Are you?
Hey, you're not supposed to put the camera on.
I am going to put it on you because I see you doing some weird stuff there. Oh my goodness.
See I've got this manual crank here on my desk. I got it. My back is killing me, man. I'm moving the desk down so that I can
Peter, sit. We got to upgrade you to one of these powered things, man.
No, like this, I get my exercise that way. It's like having the old crank windows in your car. I feel like it's a
All
thing.
right. I got it. Hey guys, donate over on YouTube. We're gonna get Peter a brand new desk, power and everything. So just hit a donation on YouTube. If you can donate, hit the like button. Hopefully we get enough.
Don't do that. There's better. Donate to a worthy cause. I purposely have this desk.
Oh no,
It's
I
perfectly
agree.
functional, man.
But I got to get on you. I got to get on you for it. So yeah, there we go. All right, let's get back to what we're looking at is MP. So MP here is up 7.2. Again, I'm not sure how well this is going to trade. Not a big fan of it. I never looked at it before, but these type of stocks when they get low volume, they're not great. But I do got to say this. Yesterday we did see a nice increase in volume, so maybe that made the trade a little bit cleaner. I don't know, Peter. Something you like about this one? I'm on the fence on it right now.
No, actually, I don't like it. It's not one that I would expect to trade well. It's in the mining sector, which I don't like to begin with, and it doesn't look good. I just looking even at like previous days price action, doesn't really look that good to me. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's another rare earth metals type stock, right? So I get why it's potentially moving, but I don't. I don't think it's going to give trading opportunities.
Awesome. All right, let's. That's why I don't like. I'm saying awesome on all these comments I'm getting in chat about you and your desk now. We're having a good time there. TMC, what's that? TMC. TMC. So again, another metals company, right? TMC, the metals. I don't think I've ever even heard of this company. So all metals are rising here. This one looks very active though, at 4.2 million. That looks fun. What is the float on this? Let's take a look here.
The metals company.
Yeah.
What a name! You just decided to name it the metals company.
Straightforward. No guessing.
Yeah, right on the nose there. Yeah, it's actually pretty good volume. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Price action looks good from about 1 o'clock yesterday through to the close, but did not look good prior to that. And previous days, just looking back here, looked pretty horrible. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe this one, has picked up again. Well, we mentioned that news, right? Rare earth metals. If the U.S. is looking to try and find new sources, right now, rare earth, and this is my very remedial understanding of mining from my time working with miners down in Australia. Most of the North American rare earth metal mining is really incidental. It's sort of accidental, right? You're looking for other metals and you just run across these things, right? And you refine them where you have the facilities. In a lot of cases, they just junk it, right? It goes into the tailing piles and it just gets just ignored because it's too expensive to try and refine. So that may change, of course, if the prices start going up and there's the actual market demand. Maybe there's ready stockpiles of this stuff. Just you got to take it out of these giant. By the way, if you've ever seen a tailings pile, it's I'd hate to have to deal with that. What a mess that is. But anyways, I don't know.
Man,
good luck to them.
Our friends over in our chat, we got the best members ever. They don't skip a beat. The minute, look, this.
What's happening,
Peter? If you ever want to work, if you want to work somewhere else, you can see here.
Yeah.
This guy can use his left arm. And,
work the cameras.
Work the cameras, man. There's options for that skill. All right, awesome. Guys, we're looking pretty good this morning so far. I like what I have on my list, Tesla, NVIDIA. I did add a couple of secondary here. I did add TMC and then USAR. Let's see where that goes. I do want to look at Amazon today. Amazon was so clean yesterday. I am going to have it on my list. I see Mike put AMD on his list. I also want to watch AMD. Because I think it was trading really nice the last couple of days as well. So Tesla, NVIDIA, Amazon, AMD, it is a very flat day for the most part right now. So we'll have to see where the volume comes in and what's trading well. If you look at the overall market, like we are right on it. We're like just flat 100% right now. So a lot of things not gapping up or down. I'm hoping that when the big volume comes in, we do get some volatility here. So 9:10 to just 20 minutes before the market open here. Let's go ahead and look at our events for today. Today is Tuesday. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I was going to say Wednesday, but today's Tuesday. And let's see what's happening for this beautiful day. Oh, and also a great group yesterday on the onboarding class, man. We had a nice turnout. So thank you guys for joining me on the onboarding class. If you missed it, send me an email, carlos@bearwithchurch.com. I'll get you a recording. of the video, and we're also doing it again next Monday night. So join up for the trial. You get access to the onboarding class. We had a really fun time. Some really great questions. Are the gifts still going, Peter?
Oh
Are
yeah,
they still?
yeah,
Oh, I can't wait to
yeah,
see them. All right, there you
yeah.
go.
All right. Okay, guys. Yeah, we have our Tuesday slate of activities focused on strategy and trade book activities. Let's start with the stuff that happens during the market hours. We have 11 and noon sessions. Both of those are for elite members only, and they happen in our webinar room. And Phil takes over at 11. He's going to talk about how to trade a small account. He's going to focus on options because options are often very useful for a small account. And that is going to be focused on any of your questions that you want to get answered. He'll take you through those and help you out. And then at noon, we're going to focus on Bookmap, which is a very specific tool that helps you visualize market volumes. And if you've never seen it, it's worth understanding, worth seeing it, because it's quite fascinating. I don't use it myself, but a lot of members use it and absolutely love it. It's a good tool you could potentially add to your toolbox. And if you have it and want to know more about how to use it, or if you're looking to get it, then join that Bookmap session with Nathan at noon, and you can get all the information you need. Then tonight, Lenny is going to be taking over 8 p.m. This is our main event. He's going to be giving a webinar on how to identify and trade the ABCD continuation setup. So ABCD patterns are something that people look at all the time, and they do happen every day, all over the place. But how do you properly identify them and then take advantage of them in a consistent and regular fashion? Lenny's going to talk about that so you can trade with confidence. That'll be at 8 o'clock tonight in the webinar room. Next week, Pierre will be delivering a opening range breakout session that you can focus on how do you get those 5-minute ORB type trades. So that's this week and next week at 8 p.m. That's what we got going on. If you want to join us in the chat room, be part of that elite group that can get access to these webinars, as well as all of the chat room, all of the recorded sessions, all of the mentorship and activities that we've got, then check out bearbultraders.com. We've got our options there to join as a member. You can go anywhere from our intro offer right through to our elite annual deal. And if you really wanted to jump in deep, then take a look at the platinum deal that you can take advantage of. That combines all of the chat room activities with a $50,000 funded account that you can get paid for trading against. We want you to learn to be a consistent trader. And if you do that successfully, then Andrew is taking the risk on you. He's willing to invest in your education and pay you for your trading activities. So check that out. It's well worth doing. Plus, you get the Peak Capital Bootcamp, which is an intensive 3-month course which will help you get through your trading journey and build a strong foundation upon which you can build a trading career. So check that out. If you want to know more about that bootcamp, go to peakcapitaltrading.com. Run that all together, 3 words, no spaces, peakcapitaltrading.com, and you can get all the information on that bootcamp. It's really a great, great session. The next one starts May, the first week of May. Mike and I, well, we'll be launching that from France, but don't worry, it'll all go to schedule. And then the one after that, the last one of 2024, will be starting in September. So you can sign up now for either of those 2 courses and take advantage of that intensive bootcamp session if you're interested in doing it. So hopefully you'll do that. If you got questions, you can always email us. We're here. The whole team is available, ready to answer your questions. You can do it in the chat. You can email us, Peter at peakcapitaltrading.com, or Mike at peakcapitaltrading, or Carlos at peakcapitaltrading. We're all part of that team, and we'd be happy to help you out and answer any questions that you may have. So don't be shy. If you're not sure and you say, I would love to get this other information to help me make a decision, let us know. We'll be happy to help. All right. There you go. So that's the information we got, Carlos. Let's set some levels. We're only about 15 and a half minutes away from the market open. Then I can let everybody know what our moderators are watching. So get your lists in, mods, and we'll keep this morning rolling.
Yeah, absolutely, friends. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get some levels set in here as I try to control my laughter from all the hand cranking stuff that people are pulling up in the game. That's a nice one with the car. I like that one, to turn on the car. That's pretty good. All right, let's get to it, friends. So first one on deck is going to be our buddy Tesla, right? So Tesla here. Levels are going to be pretty easy for a lot of these tickers because we're stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, like this one on Tesla here. So all you're going to mark down is the high of the pre-market at 253, 254 actually, and then the low down at 249. 41. So once you do that, you can see here on the daily, you're pretty much set. Highs and lows are really surrounding the price action the last 3 trading days, right? Which has been getting shorter and shorter, and we just kind of stuck within this range. So there it is when it comes to Tesla. Pretty easy. If we break out above this or below this, we can also look for more levels. But for right now, we are set on that one. Andrew just put his list out, and I like what he put. He put pure TR. We forgot to look at that one. So we'll go back to pure TR because that has been explosive. Not the easiest thing to trade, but it has been very explosive. Here is NVIDIA, same thing, right? We're just stuck between those highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. The high on this one is 1146. We'll slam one there. The low is going to be down at 109.85. So 109.85 is the low of NVIDIA. And also, friends, over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, crank up those thumbs up on YouTube there. Really appreciate it. So if you just want to crank those up like Peter was cranking his desk, we will love that so much. Sitting at 141. But I think we'll crank that a little bit higher. That's going to be the word for today, crank. So NVIDIA, surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, doing a great job there. You don't really have to add anything else. Next one on the list for me, friends, is going to be Amazon. Amazon traded very well. Had a beautiful, I mean, out of all the stocks yesterday, unfortunately, I wasn't watching this one. It was a great short. Like, it was very, very clean. 183.20 is the high of the pre-market, and the low is going to be 181.22. So we're going to make sure we surround that there. And then once you look at the bigger picture, again, surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, even 3 trading days. I mean, we're just stuck within this range. On this one, you do have the previous day close on there as well. So just so much going on for the most part there. Last but not least, on my main list is going to be AMD. AMD's, it's been trading well. Like, we had a good trade. Was it not yesterday, the day before maybe? Which would have been Friday. That was pretty good. So let's see if it does it again here. 95.04 is a good one, and then towards the bottom, the low of the pre-market 93.74. And once you do that, you're surrounded again, as we mentioned earlier, by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. So AMD just completely flat. I mean, it is right on the previous day close line right now, so not gapping up or down at the moment. Low volume, we expect that to change as we move forward into the market open. So there it is, friends. That's my list. We do have a couple of secondary stuff on here, especially with these metals, right? TMC, lower price stock, not a low float, but it is rocking sort of here. Like it. Yeah, it's 23% up this morning. If you want something a little bit more stable, maybe as far as the movement, USAR, that's another one here, up 22%, 766,000. Can't short this one, but I had this on my secondary list. I think they'll be fun to watch today. We'll see how it plays out. So, and then someone mentioned BULL, Bull, right? I mean, this thing came crashing down yesterday. So, people are asking, is it going to be active today? I think so. I just don't think it's going to be active in the way that we can trade it. So I'm not sure about that. So I'll put it on my secondary list for entertainment purposes only, but I don't expect to trade it today. All right, Peter, let's give our friends what our team is watching, and then we'll get you guys ready for Brian and Andrew in the chat for live trading, and Peter and I will be here on YouTube.
Indeed. All right, guys. Our moderators have most of their lists in. We'll start at the top with Lenny, who is going to be watching Apple, NVIDIA, Tesla, Meta, Boeing, and Bank of America. Avi's going to be watching Apple, AMD, Tesla, and NVIDIA. Nathan's going to be watching Magnificent 7, AMD, and Bank of America. I've got my usual list. I'm also going to be watching Apple, Boeing, and Bank of America. Probably add PLTR onto that list. By the way, Andrew challenged me yesterday as we were live here talking about, Peter, I don't know how you just sit and watch the open without trading anything. And I'm thinking, it's not that hard, but I'm going to give myself a challenge to try and trade a little bit more at the open. We'll see if I lose money or make money, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, you have been trading, though. You caught a few, not this week, but last week you caught a few trades. Yeah.
But I haven't really been pushing it. Let's see if I can.
Let's push the limit. I like that. Let's crank it up. Let's crank it up.
Yeah, might not be the day today to do that, but we'll see. If I find something, I won't hesitate like I normally do. We'll see what happens. Thor is going to be watching Bank of America and NVIDIA. Mike's going to be watching AMD and NVIDIA. Megan's going to be watching Boeing, the metals sector, and the scanners. Paris is going to be watching Apple, Boeing, NVIDIA, Tesla, of course, and PLTR. Pierre is going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, AMD, Apple, and PLTR. Andrew, in with his list, watching Boeing, PLTR, NVIDIA, and Apple. So you see a lot of commonality here. Brandon, also PLTR, NVIDIA, Tesla, and Boeing. Phil's got the same list NVIDIA, Tesla, Apple, PLTR, and Boeing. And last but not least, Brian is watching, you guessed it, Tesla, NVIDIA, AMD. He's got USAR on his list, Boeing, and of course, the SPY overall. So we'll see what happens this morning. Not a lot moving. Our gappers list was pretty light, but we found a couple of targets, and like we said, I have this feeling that there's going to be some news coming today, right? With China taking that firm action on the airline industry against Boeing. I've got to believe the White House, we're going to hear something out of the White House, but who knows, right? Whether it happens during our trading activity or not. But whatever happens, I just want you guys to be ready. Trade smart, and you can take advantage of this market. So let's have fun trading the open. You've got about just under 9 minutes. So you got a little time. Get yourself set. Get yourself some water. Make sure that you're all ready to go. Crank your desk up or down. And we can go to live trading. I see Andrew. Andrew's out there ready to go. Look at that. It's getting lighter earlier in Vancouver. Look at that. So there's actual daylight. Normally it'd be dark until sort of the opening bell rings. So
it does help wake up, man. Daylight is so important. You'd be surprised.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, friends. We're going to disconnect from chat. See Andrew and Brian getting ready to go. We'll let you guys connect with them in chat room, and then we'll continue over on YouTube. But yeah, man, daylight is so important. Like you'd be surprised how important
it's a big difference waking up in the dark versus waking up with light out. It just feels so different. I know I struggle with that as the days get shorter as we start going into the fall. In like August here is when it starts to happen, and you're like, it's still summer, and it's end of August, and then the daylight starts to contract a little bit, and it really always upsets me every year. So when we start getting these longer days, I feel like, wow, we need to go do something. Let's go out. Let's go do something. And I feel like we need to take advantage of the day. It's 7 o'clock and the sun's still out. It's a great feeling. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. The morning, if you sleep until 7, like the sun's already been out for 2 hours, you feel lazy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, friends, let's get ready. So just 7 minutes here to the market open, and we're going to get our charts ready. We've got our 5 minute here. We're going to get our 1 minute up here, and I'm just going to set up everything, get ready to rock and roll here. So we'll be good to go. Let's see how the market is. I'm interested to see how some of these stocks react today, because we've been seeing a lot of the markets gapping up, the markets gapping down, then the market open, and we see what the reaction is. I wonder how it's going to be today when the market is pretty much the flattest we've seen as far as a market open, right? We're not gapping down much, or if at all. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that is, because I feel like we haven't seen that in a long time, in the last couple of maybe last 10 trading days or so. There's always been some kind of news pushing things one way or the other.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, I don't know. We've had these in between days sometimes where you don't get a lot of things moving. This is the type of day that sets up very well for my core trading strategies, which are the ones that happen sort of after 10, 15, 10:30, because if we don't get a strong market catalyst, then the stocks tend to set up the patterns that I enjoy trading much more actively. Yeah. So we'll see if that happens today. I said, while I've given myself this challenge to trade more at the open, it's still got to be on some type of structured movement, right? Like I don't want to just start throwing darts, because that's just, I almost guaranteed I'll be giving away my money if I did that. So I'll watch Boeing. If Boeing gets some interesting movement, like Boeing, I'm not sure. I never know what to expect. We'll see what happens at the open. But if it really starts to get strong upward or downward momentum, there might be a trade in that. These mining stocks, it wasn't on my target list initially, but TMC, remarkable volume here this morning, already up to 6.1 million shares. So we'll see how that trades after the open. And who knows, maybe Citigroup or Bank of America is probably better. It's usually the better trading one versus Citigroup. Citibank, Citigroup. There's my alarm.
Yeah, today Bank of America looks much better, but I've seen Citigroup trade much better than Bank of America. But today Bank of America has the volume. I saw a comment. Somebody mentioned that J.P. Morgan, I mean Diamond, Jamie Dimon sold some of his shares, about 31 million of his shares. Is that right?
Uh,
Uh,
I don't know. It's
but again,
possible.
I always think about you like, okay, what's that compared to how much they own, right? It's
Yeah.
probably just
Yeah.
pocket
Exactly.
change. He probably needs to pay for a couple of
Let's see.
private
Let's see
flights with
here.
jets.
Jamie Dimond. He did. Well, he's no. Hold on. He sold $31 million worth of shares.
Yeah, that's what I meant, dollars, not shares. No, 31 million
Okay.
shares is a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, no, dollars,
Yeah.
dollars,
No.
worth. Yeah,
So that's only 100 only, but it's 133,000 shares. Uh,
that's nothing.
where
Yeah.
his estimated holdings are. I mean, look, earlier this year in February, he sold $234 million worth of shares. So yeah, it's not really cutting into his holdings all that much. I don't think. I'm trying to
Yeah.
see how many shares he's estimated to hold. Uh, yeah, it's they don't seem to have a running total, at least not that I can see here. So I don't know how many shares he holds. Oh, here it is, James Dimon. As of March 25th, it was estimated that he had 1.6 million shares.
Mm.
So yeah, if he's so it looks like after his share, he's got about 1.3. Look, sorry, I missed this line
And
here
he
right at the
sold
top.
133.
133,000. So he's like, so it was 10% of his holdings.
It's
Not,
nothing.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, that's some, but not huge, really.
Yeah. It's a smart thing to do, especially if you're,
Yeah,
putting some money away,
diversify a
switching
little bit.
from stocks to something else. Yeah.
Yeah, put 31 million. Put it in the old rainy day account, I guess.
Who's Jamie Dimon? He is the CEO of J.P. Morgan.
J.P. Morgan. Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie, smart guy. You hear him speak. He knows his stuff when it comes to finance.
I would hope so if you're the CEO of
Yeah.
a bank.
Yeah. Yeah. And the numbers show it, right? J.P. Morgan's numbers are just ridiculous when it comes to
The-
quarters, and they love to downplay because they don't want to be the people that's always making money, but their numbers are just
Yeah,
outrageous.
and they're like, I think the biggest by market cap. I think now, aren't they, on the street? Biggest bank. They're
I would,
certainly the biggest part of the market index. I
yeah,
know that Jared was just looking it up this morning, and they were like far and away larger part of the index than any of the other banks. So
yeah.
I was
In
surprised
the
by that.
U.S., I think they're the biggest. Globally, I think Citigroup at one point had a pretty good hold on that
Mm.
because they did a lot of business in Africa, like Citigroup. There's some banks that didn't want to do business there, and they did the Coca-Cola business, which was huge business for them. But again, we're getting to the nitty gritty of stuff. But yeah, it's they're doing well, doing well, doing well. Um, all right, Spies crossing the threshold line of the previous day close, just poking his head above green here. So we'll see if that means anything. And
Nvidia, I see Nvidia pushing a little bit higher this morning. So is AMD. Yeah, I really don't know what to expect. We got about a minute, just over a minute
yeah,
here till the market open, and I don't know. I don't know what to
yeah,
expect.
it's gonna be fun. Let's see, Tesla, Nvidia,
Oh,
Amazon, and
speaking of which,
AMD. Let's figure your 1 minute alert for
yeah,
the market open. Best places to journal trades. There's so many. There are hundreds. Pick the one you like. Like I use
yeah,
OneNote. People use Notion. People use Word. People use Excel, PowerPoint. I mean, whatever. Here's the quick answer to it. Use whatever you're comfortable with that you know you're going to go back and review. Right? Don't use something that's
yeah.
complicated to do, and then you have a hard time doing the journaling itself, and also a hard time going back to review it. That's the simple answer.
We've
So there's no right or wrong.
Yeah, we've got a journaling tool that's going to be available soon and in trading terminals. So that's something that you can look forward to that'll help with that side of it. But as Carlos said, and by the way, journaling doesn't have to be written, right? It could be verbal, it could be video, it could be, there's all sorts of different ways to journal your trades. And what matters, as Carlos said, make sure that you get value from it, which is value. There's the opening bell, guys. So let's
Ding, ding,
let's
ding,
focus on the
ding.
markets here. We'll come
All
back to
right,
journaling.
here we go. Yeah,
So
we can address that later. Tesla. showing a little
Bank
bit
of
of
America
weakness.
moving higher. Yeah, Tesla dropped right off the open. And of course, Bank of America spiked up. Of course it did. Or a Boeing, I mean. Sorry, Boeing.
Oh, Boeing. Yeah, that's
Not green, but just spiked higher. Now, this is the NYSE stock. So Boeing, we're gonna have to wait for the volume to come in. I just, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously, with the news, I've got to be feeling a little bearish on Boeing, but I have seen this so many times move contrary to the news that it's impossible to figure out what it's going to do.
yeah.
Tesla dropped. Nvidia's scrubbing higher here though. Look at Boeing. Look at Boeing go.
All right. As usual, friends, waiting 5 minutes to look for a 5 minute ORB, but definitely no trades before 3 minutes. If we see something good
Oh
around
man,
minute three,
look at the spread.
we'll take advantage. The spread on what?
The spread on Boeing is very high. I might have missed the opportunity to short it. I was going to short at 157, but I'm struggling to make myself do these things. It's not what my typical trading. Said I was going to try. I'm trying, man. Bank of America moving higher. People are commenting on USAR. What's it up to?
What's our Earth Metals doing? A TMC dropping. USAR. This one is not shortable with Interactive Brokers. So if anything, TMC will be one to play this in. They're dropping here. We do have shares for short, but I don't like it as much. Nvidia looks clean. Yeah, Nvidia is moving really nice here. Let's see if we get a pullback. Man, that's a nice move. $1.40 from the open right now. Too extended for us to jump on this at the moment. Let's see if we get a pullback that we can take advantage of. Amazon, look at Amazon's candles putting in. All the buyers pushing this higher now. So sold off, came back up. I like these type of setups. Let's see how it looks in a second. News on Truth Social. What? Seriously? For real? Let us know. If he says it's time to buy, if he says time to buy, let me know. I'm gonna go long and remortgage my house and go long on everything.
Whoa, Tesla just popped up.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew, nice trade on Tesla. Right at the VWAP. Already took partial, so he's doing good on that. I like Amazon. I like this candle here on Amazon, the way this is forming. So let's see if we get how it ends at the 3-minute mark. But this looks good. A lot of buying pressure on that 5-minute. AMD taking off. Tesla. Andrew is in Tesla right now. Partial at 251-ish. So that's good. All right, here it is. Amazon is the one I like the most right now. We're getting this move that we like. We're just getting the drop above the VWAP. Hopefully the retest. And on the way back up here, we want to join long if we can. So let's see. Let's see. Nvidia looks really good. Yeah, Nvidia. Yeah, it looks clean, man. Looks very clean. All right, so here it is, Amazon. I want to wait for this 5-minute candle to close, but I don't want it to jump on me and leave us behind. Peter, anything you like this morning?
Not yet. No, I'm still watching Boeing.
Yeah.
Glutton for punishment, I think. Boeing is not doing what you think it would. But,
all right, so here's the 5-minute candle close on Amazon. If we see strength here, I'm going to go long, stop loss under the VWAP. So let's see. We got to see the strength now. So 5-minute candle is closed. But we're not getting the push up, so it's not setting up the way we want. Yeah, it's not. It needs to go. It needs to go up. That's not good. We need the confirmation that we do want to stay above the VWAP, that we want to go long here, but it's not happening right now. So glad we waited. We need that confirmation first. Tesla's gonna pop. Tesla, yeah, it's pulling back a little bit, just like Amazon is. But
Apple's really pulling back.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to put Apple on our list. So now we spoke about it early, but we forgot to actually put it on the list here. All right, so here it is, seeing a little strength on Amazon. We gotta get above 180, 122. Okay, we're getting some action now. So I'm getting ready on this one. Let's see if it happens. Okay, here we go. Yeah, let's go long Amazon. We want to see make a new high here. Stop loss 180.63. We don't want to go in below the VWAP here. So let's see if we can get to the high of the day and push higher. So we're getting the move. I love the 5-minute setup on this thing. If you look at it here, huge
Tesla.
buying pressure. So I love that there. Let's see if that can continue. How's Tesla? Oh, yeah, I'm looking at Andrew's screen, man. He is destroying that thing. He added. Partial again at the previous day close. He is crushing that. So good stuff. All right, it's important for us here to get a new high. Let's take control of the action here. Let's go. Let's get to 182 if we can. That'll be nice. Previous day close is coming up in a few.
I would say Tesla not an easy trade. Great on Andrew, but you had to really anticipate that move. At least for me, not an easy trade for me. Maybe I should say.
Yeah. You know what? His entries were like perfect. Like his entries were so spot on. He nailed it. So it was not an easy trade. Absolutely not. All right, Amazon. Come on. Let's do this. Let's continue. Higher highs, higher lows. PLTR, another one that we forgot to look at. I mentioned it earlier, but we didn't watch PLTR. Again, just part of our usual suspects.
I've been watching it. It's it's moving higher, but not smoothly, right? Like all the candles are highly overlapping. There's really not doesn't look
that's
all that smooth to me.
That's a tough setup. I don't like the 1 minute. It looks messy compared to there's other stuff that looks much better this morning. All right, let's see if Amazon is going to deliver for us. So we're long Amazon here. I want to get to at least 182 if we can. Let's see if it can go green.
Previous day close? No, previous day close is just over 182, is it?
Yeah, 182.12 for the previous day close.
12, yeah. I see that now.
Finance, fitness. I caught Tesla at 250.79. Good for you, man. Good. Google is going opposite. Retail buying the dip. Most in 5 years. Huge retail buying between 520 and 544. Awesome, man. Yeah, it's Susan. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's a lot of buying going on. I mean, when you saw 3 trillion, was it 3 trillion that left the market in a day?
Yeah.
I again, my personal feeling, and I'm not a finance guru or anything. I don't know anything about finance when it comes to the back end. That money's got to go somewhere. Now, I know you could put it in gold, you could sit on it cash. These guys are greedy, man. They're going to put that money somewhere to make money. They're not going to just let it sit there. And I'm sure many of them took advantage and bought stuff at a discount, right? So
well, or it moves into other markets, right? A lot of times it just flows into bonds or other.
But the thing is that the bonds were down, right? Like one of the things that were concerned that everything was down, including bonds, when that drop happened. So it was weird. They couldn't move it anywhere else. So they said, all right, let's go back into the market. So it's interesting. All right, we're getting a little resistance here at the previous day close, which is expected. I want to be patient, get the breakthrough if we can. I'm not seeing anything significant on the level 2 right now that tells me to get out or stay put. So we're just gonna play the price action, and hopefully we could push through here. But I'm ready to take a partial, just in case the markets are not gonna behave. Oh man, Andrew is doing well this morning. I think he's one and done. Let me show you guys what that looks like. Here's Andrew's trading today, friends. Long here, partial, added perfectly, added again, partial, 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 partial. I mean, he did so well on this. So really, really good stuff. All right, so Amazon struggling a little bit to get above the previous day close. I might take a defensive partial here. We're right on it. Just got a feeling that it wants to break through it. So, you know, I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to take a partial here. Let's not be greedy. Let's take a partial and we'll sit. Hopefully this thing can go higher. NVIDIA at VWAP. Gold. What is gold doing? The only gold tick right now is AU. And it's dropping. So I don't see anything fun here. TMC, rare metals are not doing so hot. What's the other one you mentioned, Peter? It was TMC and USAR. Yeah, USAR. And this one, it's pulling back. We kind of figured they were not going to be great traders, right? We kind of figured that a little bit. All right, so Amazon is pulling back. If it comes to my break even, we'll get out of it. See if it can hold some of these moving averages. Oh, you got you, Jamie.
You got it popping up a little bit, so that was good.
Yeah, yep.
Tesla. Yeah, a number of people traded Tesla, it looks like. Wow. And look at Boeing. Now, I was looking to see, was it going to go to 158 or 156 first? And it hit 158. That's...
yeah, man, look at that.
It's amazing to me, the resilience this stock has. Wonder how. What I don't know is how big of their business the Chinese market is. I mean, there's got to be a lot of planes, right? There's very, just a big country, a lot of.
Yeah, and they fly the Boeing 737 a ton, man. A lot of the aircrafts, because there's a lot of short hops, and
right.
they don't. And then if they come to the U.S. or anywhere else, they got the big ones, but they got a lot of short flights between their countries there, so.
Well, in any event, Boeing is doing its Boeing thing. TMC is really down. Which is interesting.
TMC. Yeah, this thing has lost it here.
Bank of America, as you'd expect, not doing much. Bubba is down a little bit this morning, so it's interesting.
Yeah, Baba. Yeah, things are kind of turning a little bit. I might get out of my Amazon here, but I want to hold to see if we're going to turn the corner, but it's looking weak at the moment, so let's see. All right, guys, what are you guys doing? Short Tesla? Okay. Just careful with this stock, man. It's been strong all morning. Let's see how it looks here. Yeah, let's see what it does. Let's see what it does.
Still hanging in there on your Amazon trade.
Yeah. My entry fortunately has allowed me to hold on here. We haven't gotten a drop on it, so it looks like it wants the previous day close, but it's is struggling a
It
little bit
does.
here. I think it's just kind of following the SPY. The SPY is going a little bit sideways right now, but we'll see. It looks like it wants it, so hopefully we can get up there. Will be nice. Time for reversal? No, no, it's too early for reversals. I think so. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Just short PLTR here at the top. All right, let's see here. Amazon's coming back to my break-even point. SPY's dropping, so we might take a partial here. Should we take another defensive partial? Reduce our shares. I'm thinking we should. The longer we last here, let it ride. The longer we last here doing lower lows, the tougher it is to hold for
It's
a
your
higher
trade.
move.
What does your strategy say?
I don't know, man. Here my strategy is get out of break even. As far as taking partials, I don't really have a
Okay.
set way to take partials. Here, the only set rule I have is you come back to your break even, you jump out. So that's set, right? I'm doing that for sure.
Okay.
And then I
So it
kind of
sounds
leave the
like it's
trade, yeah, the trade match a little bit
mm,
loosey goosey.
right.
So, as far as what the price action is telling me, it can go either way here, man. Like I cannot tell which way it wants to go.
Yeah. Well, then you should leave it. But
Yeah, yeah,
it's just nervousness, right? Anxiety that's getting you into the
yeah.
trade.
It's like let's do something. We got 7 minutes just going sideways.
Well, it's
That's part of trading. It's breaking 5 minute ORB. If you count the 5 minute ORB on the wick, yes. Yes, here. But if you do it based on the body, I mean that's how I took it based on the body, right? Not on the wicks. You can do it that way as well. I find the body to be easier, especially when you're so extended like this. If the wick was over here, then it doesn't matter. You're in this zone, it's fine. But I don't usually use the wicks. For example, like I would never trade a 5 minute RB towards the bottom like this, using this as the breakout. No way. It's just way too far. That's too much buying pressure. It's not gonna work well. So I usually don't do that. I'll trade the body. PLTR is strong. Man, so many. There goes PLTR doing his thing, Peter. Look at that beautiful 5 minute ORB.
yeah,
It didn't look easy to trade though. It was a little bit messy.
yeah. Didn't someone
But
say they were shorting it? I thought, yeah, it's
I don't know about shorting stuff, man. The SPY looks like it wants to go. Shorting for me now, you're in a tough spot to short. I think you have to wait. We have to be patient, man. This market wants to go higher. There's a SPY making a new high. I really think for reversals, you gotta wait to 10:30. Now you can get a quick entry, quick pop down, and scalp it quickly. Yes, you can do that. But I think for reversal like back to VWAP, you gotta wait 10:30. I think you have to wait. There are days when you are in sync with the market. Andrew is in sync with Tesla right now. If you look at
right.
his trading, man, he is so in sync with it right now. So that's awesome to see. And there's days where you just everything you touch turns to crap. But today, Andrew's got the Midas touch right now. Okay, here we go. Amazon, let's do some stuff.
Yeah,
We're at the
there you
previous day
go.
close here. We're gonna take a partial there. Very nice. All right, we
Aren't you
survived
glad you
this.
you waited?
I am very glad I waited. We survived this crappiness here. So that's good. Good, following the plan. Good. Andrew needs to feel the goods. No, Andrew's doing good.
Don't
Uh,
squeeze the Sherman.
yeah.
You get PLTR.
Curious, why you guys trade these super larger caps? Don't these stocks have tons of high frequency trading, algo trading? I'm just curious as to why trade these instead of small caps and higher volatility. Man, I higher small caps. Small caps for me are dangerous,
So
man. They're
right.
they're not my thing. But go ahead, Peter. Break it down.
So, well, I was going to say you partially answered the question in the way you asked it. because in my case, I trade them because they do have the algo trading and the high frequency traders, because that
Yeah.
creates predictable and repeatable patterns. Right. So, look, it's inevitable. Almost every stock has got an element of automatic electronic trading. Yes, it's a lot less prevalent in the low floats, but that also makes them very volatile and unpredictable. We trade off of often like patterns, right? Like candlestick patterns, price action patterns, and those are much more predictable when you've got the programs that are trading, because the program's always going to trade the same way, and that gives us that sort of support, if you will, on the back end that allows these stocks to move in a way that we can manage repeatedly. So that's my argument, and that's one of the reasons why I like stocks that have the. But it's got to be the right combination, by the way. If it's only algos, then it's almost impossible to trade against them, right? You're just going to be outmatched. But you need that right combination of the electronic trading and the manual retail. But it doesn't even have to be retail volume; just that manual in institutional trading that gives you the right mix and the strong price action that I like to see. That's my answer.
100%. I mean, and again, have you tried? I have tried a 5 minute RB on these lower flow stocks. They're brutal. They're so
Right.
bad, so bad. So my strategy, this strategy, 5 minute RB breakout, does not work on these lower flow stocks. Not consistently. You know, lower flow stocks, I find them great for scalpers. If you're a great scalper and you can master the skills of getting in and out quickly, and just this a it's a different type of trader completely. Great, they're good. We're not saying they're bad. We're just saying that my strategy is not going to work on that, right?
Right.
And I need this strategy to be consistent. And low flows is not going to be consistent, right? So that's just it. And again, you get really great moves. Like on these larger stocks, you get a lot of really great moves. So we're seeing it every day here. I mean, look at Tesla, the way it's moving today. Look at Amazon struggling a little bit, but it's slowly doing what it has to. Apple's a little messy today. AMD, not it's okay. Like Tesla's just great. Every time I look at Tesla, it's so clean. But it's opportunities. It's opportunities. And I think you said it best, Peter. Algos do help with the volume and predictability as well.
Yeah, it's about consistency in
It's all
our
about
trading
consistency.
strategies.
Yeah,
And again, the low floats, you're right, they get some crazy moves, but it's
it's
tough.
wild.
It's a different approach to trading, because you're not looking for consistency in that case, right? You're willing to take
Yeah,
a high degree of losses or a high percentage of losses to get those big wins. So you're just trading off of a different premise. There's nothing wrong with it, but like Carlos and I said, it's just a different approach than what we generally look for.
yeah, yeah. All right, Amazon is paying off pretty nice here, guys. So let's see if we can inch higher. If we could settle above the previous day close, that would be nice. And we need Amazon to do one of those days where it just trades very well in one direction. That'll be great to see now that we're in the trade.
Oh, look at Nvidia. It looks very yucky. Sorry for the technical
Yeah,
term, but
no,
it's
it's
just
pretty
ugly right
crappy.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
just
hanging around
stuck.
this VWAP. Yeah, it's very stuck.
POTR. Oh, see, you're pumping it up, Peter. You're giving us some
I
some
like
love
I
here.
like PLTR here. Yeah, like again, I'm looking for reversal trades, but it's not the time yet. I want to be clear on that. At least not by my strategy. But it's just one that's sitting there. It's had a good move this morning. We'll see what it's doing. Um, but yeah, it's starting to top here a little bit, right? Slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Amazon is like watching paint dry, but it's doing some stuff. Yeah, Warden. But Ross Cameron, he's a good trader, man.
yeah,
He's a great trader. We have people that have been in his room and know how he trades, and he's good. But again, it's just can you match that style, right? And the SEC thing, we kind of saw that. I think it's just people you can't tell people they're gonna make that type of money even with our style of trading, right? Because you
Yeah.
don't know. This is difficult. That could happen to us as well. If I tell you, hey, you know, do the 5 minute RB and you can make $600 a day. No, you can't,
That
right?
was that was a sales problem,
Yeah, it's a sales
not a
problem.
trading problem, right?
Yeah,
And look, we want the whole industry to do well, and it's unfortunate that he sort of went too far, I guess, in the commitments
yeah,
he was
yeah.
making to people. But again, it doesn't diminish in my mind from him and his trading. It's just not the similar style to what we generally do here. So
Yeah, and again, his style is he's a great trader. And I think his style is a lot more difficult
yeah,
than other styles. But again, everybody's different, you know. It's like
yeah,
yes, I was doing the onboarding class, and there's a line in our onboarding class that says. By the way, I took a partial here in case we're gonna fall apart. I wanted to make sure not to take that many shares back. There's a line in our presentation that says, um, and if not, do not try day trading. Focus your energies on somewhere else. That line Andrew wrote like since the beginning that when he was doing the onboarding class himself. And someone
right,
mentioned in the chat, oh, that's not a great advice. And I'm like, why not? I mean, that is the truth. you
yeah.
know, that is the
Like,
truth. If trading is not for you, do not try day trading. Focus on something else. Like we're not gonna tell you, hey, trading is for everybody because it's not. We're not gonna tell you it's easy because
right.
it's not. It's the truth.
And it's hard in this industry because like if you were going to be a professional athlete or a doctor or I don't know, like name any other type of professional, and if you're a trader you become a professional, but you're self-taught and self-managed. Almost any
Yeah,
other profession you would have somebody else tell you whether you're going to make it or not, right? Because either you don't get on the team, or they're not willing to put you into a live scenario, or whatever the situation may be. Unfortunately, trading, you're the only one that can tell you whether it's for you or not. Like there's not going to be
yeah,
anyone that's going to show up and say, "Hey," unless you get a margin call, then when you get a margin call,
hmm
that's your broker telling you that maybe trading's not for you. But
hmm
that's
hmm
but but we don't want it to get to that point, obviously, because that
yeah,
means
yeah,
you've lost probably more money than you wanted. Well, no, almost guaranteed you more money than you wanted, probably more than you can afford. So,
yeah,
but the point is, you need to figure that out for yourself. So, Carlos, I agree with you. I think it's great advice to tell people, look, you got to be
yeah.
considering, is this for me or not? It doesn't mean give up. It doesn't mean,
Right.
don't try your best. But at some point, you need to acknowledge, if you're saying, look, I get what now I need to do, but I really don't enjoy the process, then maybe this is not the thing you want to spend your effort at, because doing something, like this takes a lot of focus. And if you're going to be doing something with the frequency you need to become consistently good at trading to actually make money over the long run, but hate every day of it, that's like working a job that you hate showing up for. Like, and many of us have had a job that we've hated. Like, why would willingly put yourself in that situation?
Yeah.
So,
100%. And it's serious stuff, man. Like we have heard horror stories where people lose their retirement account, trying to learn how to day trade or trying to, do risky investments, not just trading or starting a business. Like, you can really hurt yourself. So you got to be really, really careful. And we take that very serious, right? So um, it's important.
yeah.
It's important to do this correctly. And everybody's in a different stage of life. Some people, when they're younger, could take a lot more risk. If you're older, and if you have kids, it's a very different story. It's not the same song and dance for everybody, right? So, it's
Hmm.
something to be very cautious and careful with. As we're talking through here, guys, I got all out on Amazon, just slightly above my break-even point, but we took three partials, so good trade. But we didn't get that push we wanted to, but still can't complain. Great trade on Amazon. Took a bit to get going, but we did get a nice one there. So we'll see what else is happening. Coming up at 10 o'clock, the SPY's pushing down a little bit here. And there's a lot of stuff that just looks nasty, man. A lot of side. Look at NVIDIA. Like we got a little bump here, but it's getting right back down to that range again. And Tesla was probably one of the cleanest things today. So that was beautiful. And Amazon, are we going short? I like the setup on VWAP here on Amazon.
Oh, wait, are we? Well,
I'm
I
not
don't
going
know.
short. No, I'm just saying that is it going short? I'm not going short. No. Wait a second.
Okay.
We need our setup. We need our setup to happen here.
Yeah, that's
No, we're just not gonna randomly start jumping ship here. But let's see. See, this 5 minute looks interesting. ABCD pattern on Tesla. Let's take a look. Francesco. Um, yeah, on the 5 minute I do see it. On the 5 minute I do see it. Tesla's strong today. You kind of do see an A, B entry. Anywhere here would have been great, but this is your C point, and yeah, you kind of getting the breakout. So I do see a ABCD pattern here on Tesla forming. I just don't know how great the risk reward is going to be on this one,
yeah.
but you do have an ABCD pattern there for sure, for sure. Uh, Talk more about my setup as far. Oh, there it is, the breakout. Francesco, you take that? You called it, man. There it is. My setup, which one? On Amazon or?
Interesting. Interesting move down on Microsoft.
5 minute ORB on Tesla. No, not 5 minute ORB. 5 minute ORB on Tesla was down here. That's gone, right? Sorry, let me show you what I'm looking at. Yeah, down there. So that's gone already. So we'll see. All right, Peterson, no trades for you this morning. Nothing
No trades, not
set
yet.
up. Yeah, nothing set up the way you liked.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that means I failed at my my desire to take
You're
more trades at the
challenged.
open, or there wasn't
Yeah,
anything. But I didn't see anything. But again, I've trained myself not to see things at the open. So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure what to make of it right now.
Albanian Mirror says, I am pouring my life savings in WTF. Oh, man. May the force be with you, my friend. WTF. But there'll be some crazy person that will do something like that, and then the thing shoots up to $21, and they become a millionaire. Like, we've seen it happen. It's gambling at its best. But we've seen it where somebody,
Yeah.
makes a quarter of $1 million on some crazy random ticker they got in on. It's all about chance and timing, but you wouldn't take the risk. That's probably the fastest way to make some serious money. Throw your life savings into
Yeah.
something.
But I mean, yeah. Now you're buying a lottery ticket, right? So
Yeah, it's a lottery ticket.
the chances are that you're throwing your money away. But yes, it could pay off, and the odds are better than a lottery ticket. I'll grant you
Oh,
that.
the odds are way better, right? That's true. That's
But
true.
but still, like how many times can you afford to lose if way better? But if your odds are still 20 or 30 to 1 of it working, how many times can you take that trade? Like it's got to pay off really big every time it does work to make up for all the losses. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, where's the next play here? AMD looking to push higher. Apple back down below the VWAP. You got some stocks are Amazon. Amazon, I don't know. It's looking good for short, man. And now it is. Now I like the setup now. Uh, this setup here, the drop, the retest of the VWAP, the slam down. This is usually where the entry will be for Amazon short. And we got some nice room to the bottom here. We do have the low of the day all the way down at 179, and we do have this 180 as well. Let's see what it does here. Not 100% convinced. I would love to have see in a case like this where I'm not 100% in. I would love to see the SPY selling down. I would have been in short because that kind of just gives it more confirmation that hey, we're turning the corner here. But the SPY is just holding. I like this. I like this short, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. We've been having a great week. Why not? I'm gonna go short Amazon here, guys. I like the setup. I'm looking for. I don't think we'll get the low of the day. I don't think we have that type of move in us, but 180.43 will be decent. So let's see. Short Amazon. Let's see if we can get the move down.
The Tesla. Wow, Tesla's.
What's Tesla doing? Tesla's just on fire, man.
Just pushing to the high of day here again.
Yes. Whoever called the ABCD pattern, hopefully they're in it. But yeah, this is just doing its thing here. Doing its thing. All right, short Amazon. Let's see if we can stay below the VWAP here. I won't be as patient as I was with the long trade. We had to hold through a lot of time here. I won't be that patient. I want to see something happen quickly, hopefully. Let's see. I took Google at the PDC earlier today. Nice, Marty. How did it turn out? Let's take a look at Google PDC. Okay, yeah. If you took it short, we did well. Got a nice drop there. WTF is going up. Nah, it's not going up. I mean, it could go up. Who knows? But this thing is just so bad, man. Just be careful. This is gambling at its best right here. And what's the other one? NMAX? The other crazy one? NMAX is... Wow, NMAX, wasn't this at 50? Or am I confusing this with something else?
No, you're thinking of...
What's the bull?
Yeah. Weeble, yeah. Bull.
Yeah.
Bull. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one I'm thinking of. So this one sold off. And it's just nasty now. There's no volume. And yeah, it's just messy. Traded well yesterday when it has some volume, but it's just crap now. Friends over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Helps us a ton. We are sitting at, again, if you're getting value, right? If you're getting value from what Peter and I are doing, subscribe. We appreciate that. Join us every morning as we go live here. Help you prepare for the market open. That's our goal of the pre-market show, is to help you prepare for the market opening and get you ready for the trading day. And as we go live, hopefully we give you ideas, keep you nice and calm, so you can, take advantage of some good opportunities. Yeah,
right. Stay calm.
Stay calm. Because I remember being a new trader, and I remember that when that bell went off, man, it was like horses. Like it got to be something. And we need to just take it easy, relax. We have a whole day of trading. There's gonna be opportunities, and yeah, just gotta keep it cool. So hopefully that's helping you prepare and take it to the market open. As Amazon doesn't do anything for me here, see if it can come back down. We'd love to see a nice sell-off today. So far this week, last week was brutal. We ended it great, but this week is starting out really nice, man. This week is looking very, very good so far.
So far, anyways, yeah.
Absolutely right. I'm in 3.5 of simming and finally starting to settle. Good, man. We give you better than likes. We pray for that your trades work. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate that. What was your setup to go short? So the setup to go short here was not great, but here's the thing I love, right? I love when stocks do this. They break through the VWAP, and again, this breakout is not as clean as I would like. So it's kind of like a VWAP breakdown. I love when they break down, retest here, the breakdown here, the retest, and then the weakness. I love this setup when we're breaking through levels, right? Previous day close, 5-minute range. This is my setup. I love all the time. So that's my indication to go short. This stock, this opened up, showed some weakness. I went short. Didn't get the best fill. We would love to be somewhere up here. but that's okay. And so that's my entry. Here on the other side, am I showing you guys the right charts? Okay, good. So on the long, which this was the winner here, the very clean. Again, same thing. We got the push up, the retest here, and then the breakout. And this is for a 5 minute range, right? So if you look at the 5 minute ORB, right? We were looking at this buying pressure. We did mention that, the buying pressure. And then on the way up to break the range, we got in. But as I'm not just going to go in just when I see this, I'm also going to go in when I see the setup here, right? This beautiful up, retest pullback, and then kind of the breakout trade there. So combine all that together, and that's how we took that trade, right? As our short trade's not working out here, we're getting a little push higher. What's the SPY doing? SPY wants to go. Let's see here. So I'm gonna get stopped out. Yeah, I'm gonna get stopped out of in Amazon. Hands on the button. Let's see if we can get something here. Man, what a nice move up. Okay. Let's see if we can drop some more before I get out on our Amazon. Me talking away, I kind of blew through my stop here. Not your fault. All right, we'll have to stop out here on Amazon. Okay, we'll get out. All right, so a bigger loss than I wanted to. I wanted to stop around 81.50, but that's okay. 30 cents plus. Hi, Carlos. How many strategies do you use these days? Two. 5 minute RBs is the one that I do the most.
Wow.
And these breakouts, like I love to see these breakouts here. So that's probably what I do the most. Just those two. I'm horrible at reversals. I wish I would be better at reversals, but I'm pretty bad on it. But that's a strategy that, man, if you can get that good, you can make so much returns, because strategies, they give you the best risk to reward. So like the mountain pass speed is one that you do that I like a lot, but I'm not great on it, you know. So
Yeah, that's my signature of these reversals. And you're right; they give you a great risk to reward when they work.
yeah,
It's
man,
about
yeah,
being
it's really good.
in my mind, it's about being very specific on your entry criteria, because there's a lot of times where if you take the wrong trade, you're just going to get stopped out because it's not yet a reversal. So that's why I've got very, very specific criteria that allows me to get into things. And as much as I said, like I can't, now that I've built that capability in myself, it's really hard to reverse it, right? So like this morning I said, I'm going to trade more actively. Here I am, still haven't taken a trade. But I honestly, I'm looking back through the charts here as we're talking, and I'm like, I still see nothing that I'm like, I wish I jumped into. Like there was nothing that screamed to me that it was an obvious entry. Andrew got a great trade on Tesla. I still don't see it, right? Like I just don't see it as a trade that was a great idea for me. So maybe that's me needing to expand my horizons. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. Man, AMD is just doing its thing. All right, I think so. Brian is leaving early today, so I'm just talking with Paris, and he might be joining us here at 10:15.
All right.
So Andrew might be joining us a little bit early here. Let's look at his trades. He crushed Tesla today. That was awesome. So we'll see versus so yeah, so let's see. He's going to join us here in a few minutes. Brian has an appointment today, so we'll have Andrew also join us in a couple as well. All right, let's see what we got going on here, friends. All right, so Amazon coming back down. Check bull. Is bull dropping the deaths? Oh no, it's actually popping up here. Bull is taking a little nice pop here. Again, just the timing on this thing is so the bull is doing bull things. It is. Just be careful on that. Apple. Let's see here.
I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. I keep getting so many more Asian ads on social media. Has anybody noticed that? I don't know.
What
Maybe
about
it's
like what are they?
just
What are they
product
on?
ads, right? Like this Temu, Temu.
Oh,
They seem to
Temu.
advertise in the
Yeah,
Temu.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
advertising the hell out of me, and they advertise like all these Asian products. Some of which, like I don't even know what the product is. But the other thing, like they love, I don't know, cartoon character themed, like sofa covers and seat covers for your car, and all this stuff looks so tacky to
So
me. But I think
you
it's
don't have the fluffy steering wheel on your Porsche
oh my
over there?
god, absolutely not.
No,
Please, please, you're hurting me. Please don't even suggest that.
you don't got like
That's
nice. No, no? Okay.
yeah. I watched this video the other day of this guy that chopped up his Porsche steering wheel and put in like a little like he made it into a snow globe type thing. Like he put a hollow tube and then snow and thing. So every time you turned, it shook the snow globe. That the steer. Anyways, it was ridiculous. And I'm like, what is wrong with
He
you?
chopped up the original steering wheel of the thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It
I
was.
tell you,
It was
I
heartbreaking.
don't get
But
that. I don't get
anyways.
that. Yeah, that could
Oh.
be. I'm sure that was painful for you to watch, Peter.
You know what? It's his car, I guess. You do what you
Yeah,
want,
whatever you
but
want. Yeah.
I did find it painful. Yes.
And anyone logging AMD? I'm sorry, I'm just talking to Paris here. Yes. Okay. Um,
I'm waiting for reversals at this point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm. I let's see here what we get. The market needs to do something like break out one way or the other. Nvidia looks like it wants to go higher, but do you trust it every time it comes here? Look at that. Oh, we're going short. Okay, I'm going short Amazon. We're gonna get a scalp here. Looks
Mm.
like. Yeah, I'm gonna go short Amazon. Let's see. Something happening. Let's get a short in here. If we get a scalp, will be nice. Come on, Spy. Drop, drop, drop. All right. This is a scalp play, guys. I see the Spy dropping. Qs are dropping. Let's see if we could get a drop to the low of the day. Will be nice. I think I hear.
I
Who's
hear
that?
somebody.
Here's
I
somebody.
hear somebody.
I believe it's Paris. Paris is on. Oh no, I see Brian connecting. Who's on? I can't tell. I see Brian. I see, here's something. I can't tell who it is. I know Brian had issues with his mic um, last
I think
time, so
I thought he
hopefully,
fixed them last night. Oh yeah,
yeah,
somebody's webcam is
yeah. You see that?
not
I
working.
don't know who it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. All right, guys, we're in for a scalp on Amazon here. Let's see if we're gonna get the drop. If not, I'll bail on it. But it looks like we did we get some news. Oh, here we go, guys. This is gonna be good. Things are going short. Even Andrew, is he short on Tesla or out on Tesla? I can't tell. But oh, this is nice. Okay, partial here. What's going on?
Oh, it's you. I don't know. I didn't see any news. Let's see here.
We're
Let's
taking
check
advantage
the
of it.
news feed.
I don't expect this to last long, but we're scalping. Oh man, this is really really nice. Okay, all right. We just made our losses back on that last trade. We shouldn't think like that, but it's just it does happen. Um, wow.
Yeah, I don't see any market news really. Whatever's pushing this market down, it's moving aggressively lower, isn't it? We're
Oh
probably going to
yeah,
hear
look at.
after the fact.
Okay.
Yikes.
Oh man, this is nice. I usually never catch these scalps. I was paying attention this time. But I usually never am involved in these flushes when they happen so quick. So this is you're not gonna see this a lot from me, but I saw it coming. I'm like, oh, perfect timing. We got a good risk reward on Amazon. Let's jump in. Pig Wrestler is asking who has a True Social account. Yeah, who has one that we can see what the heck is going on.
That's right. Tell us what's happening.
Um, this looks aggressive. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Okay. Very nice. Law of the day will be epic. How do you change the settings of the line which moves? Oh, yeah, you need to have this. This is so nice. This line here that moves with the price. It is so helpful to see the way the price action looks. I don't know how to do that. I'll have to look it up. I'm sure it's not difficult. Things on DAS are very easy.
Yeah, it's let's see. I assume you're using DAS or using a DAS platform?
Oh, yeah, let's ask the right question too, right? We're going to assume you're using DAS. He tweeted about taxing Harvard as political entity. That's all that's on his social that I see. Yeah, what time was it though? Was it recently? That I wouldn't think that's gonna. It's got to be something more. Um,
Oh yeah,
but it could
there
be.
you go. I think if you don't have that line, let me just see here. What did I just do?
Euro tariffs to stay. That would do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So a bunch of partials, guys. I'm gonna probably get out now because I don't think after a big drop like that, the next thing is a big pullback. So I'm going to get out if we get above 180.60. 180.60. Do we have a second leg in us here? Who's connected to our? Who's this? Are we getting hacked?
We're getting hacked.
It's no. It's Paris joining the wrong link. It's the link I give you every time. Paris. All right, so we're out on Amazon, guys. That was an awesome scalp, man. Is this fake news? It's probably fake news again, Peter.
Well,
There's
I mean,
some
I
fake
don't know.
news
Could
come
be.
out that caused this drop, but whatever it was, we took advantage. Yeah, I'm out of it, Yama. I am out of it because I expect this can swing the other way quickly. So, but man, that turned out really, really nice. All right, I am. Most news is fake news these days. Yeah.
Oh, there it goes. There it is. I finally found it. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to find where these settings are, right? So,
because they're there, but you don't use them every day, so it's hard
yeah.
to. Yeah.
So I can't remember. Did they say we're using DOS? Yes, they were. If you're looking for that active line, that red line that Carlos has got, you've got to right click. You go into chart area. Sorry, let me right click here. Chart area, config area. And then down in the settings, you're looking for the one that is the show. It's the last sale price settings. And you want to make sure the show last sale price is clicked. And then it'll help show
This
that
one
last
here.
price. That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
And then show the last sale price line is down there, right? So that's clicked, and then you get that line that goes across and shows you where the last sale occurred. So
I don't know. Did I show you that properly? Yeah, right here. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're using old school menus here. Those are the old.
Yeah, you can actually change the menu to the new school one, but the problem is, I'm so used to the old one. So the new one, I'm like, okay, where are things? I'm like, just keep it there. Okay, but they give you the option to change it to old and new, which is pretty nice of them to do that. Don't piss off the people that got used to the old menu. Usually, that's kind of good. Usually software don't do that. So shout out to the developers that decided to do that. And I'm sure now they're gonna say no. They'll want to take credit for that because Every time I blame developers or programmers,
That's true. We
they
were
point
beating
the
on the
finger
developers
somewhere
earlier,
else.
so yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
here's a good one for you. All right, guys. What a ton of events, man. Everything seems to be weak. Amazon dropping down. Everything heading south right now. So, uh, yeah, pretty interesting here. Carlos upgrade. No, it is upgraded. Oh wait, I have to make that upgrade because I know they're looking to block us, right? I could upgrade to the new menu, but I like the old one. It works. I know where everything is. I've been using it for so long now, so it's easier. Wow, wow.
yeah.
Spy's
I'm
gonna go
still
red.
wow. Look at this. Look at this move. I'm not on this move either. So here I am, just watching. But I should have jumped in with you, Carlos, when you were doing it.
Yeah, I saw the spy dropping, and Amazon hadn't reacted yet, and it had a good risk to reward. I'm like, oh, if this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
So it was just timing. Like if I was literally a couple of seconds looking somewhere else or typing somewhere else, I would have missed it.
Well, I heard you say it, and I was looking at Tesla, and Tesla hadn't reacted yet either.
Mm,
So there was an opportunity to get in close to the top there in Tesla. But I guess in this instance, I failed in my intent to trade more often because this is not my setup,
it's
right?
not.
This is not
Yeah,
how I would
correct.
normally trade.
Yep.
So, but you're right. That was a momentum based run. You're just playing that market momentum, and gave a good opportunity. There's nothing wrong with that. But
Yep.
said I unfortunately defaulted to my old ways. I'm like, nope, not my strategy. And now I'm
And there's
watching from the
nothing.
sidelines.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. Uh, but yeah, very interesting. Spy is in the red, just on the previous day close right now. If you look at it, we also have the Qs literally right on the previous day close as well. So again, and they're looking to go lower, man. Uh, yeah, the China retaliation of canceling Boeing planes. We talked about that earlier in the pre-market show. That's not gonna last, man. And that's not gonna last. If you wanna, you gotta remember, like building aircrafts is not it's not building bags, product
Yeah,
bags over in China. It's
but the question is, how long can they keep it up to keep that pressure right on the U.S. and on the U.S.
well,
economy? So
well, here it is. Here's the important thing, Peter. Right? Keep in mind,
hmm,
airlines have to have their orders in advance.
yeah,
If they cancel their orders, that's more important. But halting your orders, that's not really going to do it because Boeing is just going to keep building these planes. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they're cancel their pending orders with Boeing that are like 10 years ahead, then we have an issue where, okay, Boeing could lose money here. But halting your orders is not going to be a big deal. And yeah, there's also Airbus, but here's the problem with Airbus: you just can't take all that business to Airbus. You're gonna sit behind 15-year wait line. It's just if you understand the airline business, it's not that simple. They cannot take all the business on. And check this out. Let's say, for example, a lot of these airlines, like JetBlue, they only do Airbus, right? For JetBlue now to switch all their mechanics, all their aircrafts to Airbus is not that simple. It doesn't work that way. So these are things that are going to take years to make and implement to change it when it comes to airlines. I'm a cold bluff on this. It's just that simple. And
no,
anybody that
I
knows
think
about, I'm telling you, anybody that knows about aviation and how much is
yeah,
involved, this is a big
I
bluff, and
think
you're not gonna hold on this one.
I I think you're underestimating the resolve of the Chinese government. I mean, you could be right, but keep in mind it's a different world, right? So they could have,
Yeah.
let's say they have 5 airlines, and I don't know how many airlines they have in China, but let's, for argument's sake, even if they only have 2 airlines, maybe one uses Airbus and one uses Boeing, and they're willing to let the one using Boeing go bankrupt, and then they'll just let the Airbus airline take over,
I
right? And
I don't.
because
You're right. You're right, but I don't see that happening. It's just
yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I mean,
you're gonna
again,
crush your
it
your economy. Like and if they're willing to do that, it doesn't make any sense. Like
well, I mean, better but they may feel it's better that they do that rather than let the U.S. hold them for ransom. I don't know. We're completely speculating here, right? I mean, also keep in mind, like I said, Carlos, my view, I guess, is more that how long do they actually have to keep this up to keep the pressure on without affecting the airlines? Like it could be even if they just hold on for a month. I'm sure they could continue to operate the airlines without delivery of parts and stuff for a month, and that might be enough to keep the pressure on the U.S. to make the point without taking down their airline industry. So
No, I get that, but for example, like you're not gonna stop parts. That's crazy, right? You're not gonna have your aircraft fly without parts, so you're not gonna stop that part. But halting orders and canceling orders are that if you cancel orders, okay, I know you're serious. But if you're not canceling orders, you don't because if you cancel an order, what happens is the people that are in the next slot they move up and they
right.
take your slot. So now you're not going to get those aircraft until you place an order again, right? So unless you cancel orders, you're not serious. You're not serious, right? So this is not going to last. I that's my bet. I could be completely wrong, but this is not
All
going to
right.
last.
Well, we'll see.
And
Carlos
and
has
someone
placed his bet.
that's what I'm placing my bet. I'm sticking to it.
I mean, this is
um,
a big, this is like the biggest game of chicken you'll ever be witness to, because
yeah,
essentially, we've got global governments daring each other to, do it. I dare
yeah.
you.
This
So
is
it's it's very interesting.
look. Boeing has I think it's like 6,000 unfilled orders for Chinese companies as far as 737s go. Go ahead, cancel your order. They'll find someone else to put those babies quickly. So it's I don't know. Not nice try, man. That's not gonna fly. And yeah, I agree, Mr. Trader. This can also be said about U.S. jobs. 100%. Like you want to bring all these jobs back here, but like I said, we want to wear Nikes, not make them, right? So people want their iPhones to still be $1,000, not $3,000 if you start making them here in the U.S. So like I get it. Some stuff does have to come back, but is everything realistically gonna come back? No, 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 no. That's not gonna happen. Consumers are want stuff very cheap, right? So you can't have it both ways. And again, I'm not a financial expert. It's a tough spot to be in. It's a tough spot to be in. Like, who knows what's the right thing to do and what's going to better the country? You got people on both sides, and no one can say this person is wrong, this person is right, and that's what makes this even tougher, right? Because if there was a clear answer, then we all be on the same page. But there's not. There's not. For every expert that goes one way, you can find another expert that goes the other way. And that's the tough part. So, but yeah, same thing. Like we were talking about, like, oh, start making more eggs or start producing stuff in the U.S. It's not that simple to just move in operations overnight. This thing takes time. I remember we worked in a company that was only 500 million a year, and I was in charge of operations, Peter. And it's funny because the VPs had no clue on how much was involved, and sometimes the president had no clue. They're like, "Oh, let's just
Oh
ship
yeah.
all the orders from California to New Jersey." I'm like, "This doesn't happen overnight. Like, what do you think? We're just gonna take the capacity from the New York warehouse that got flooded and just take all those capacity, all those orders, and just move them to another warehouse that already has a full schedule?" Like, no, it just doesn't work that way. And that's a very small scale of just $500 million a year. Imagine more. I mean, it's just mind-boggling how people don't understand how something works. I know you dealt with this in your in your
Sure.
in your
I
business,
like
right?
it. I've been on both sides of that equation. I've been the executive that people are trying to explain it's not that simple to,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've been the other guy try to do the explaining. So yeah,
Oh, so
it's
so you've been on both sides of the fence. You could
oh
really
yeah. I
relate.
mean, I brought myself up from the junior ranks, right, and worked hard
Yeah.
at it. But yes, I understand. Like it could be very frustrating, right? Because executives get these brilliant ideas all the time, and they're like, how tough is it, right? I just tell you to do it, and it happens, and you're sitting there going, Jesus, man, like you have no idea what it's actually going to take to make this happen. So
Titan says, "We get it. You are long Boeing." No, I'm not long Boeing, but I'm very passionate about aviation. So my family's in aviation and all that stuff. But it's just people have no clue like how expensive it is, to move manufacturing, to do certain things, and to just say, hey, we're not gonna allow Boeing to buy our airlines to buy Boeing. okay, your airline's gonna freaking crash. Like it's going to it's gonna have a hard time keeping up. So it's just you see this thing. As I say, it's like kids fighting when you see this back and forth with tariffs. It's so hilarious, right?
Well, we'll see what happens, Carlos. I mean, again,
We'll see.
I'm of the opinion, that they could very well have had China might have been planning this for years. Maybe they have a secret manufacturing, again, parts manufacturing. You're right. Maybe they can't replace the planes, but maybe they can build the parts to keep them running for a while to keep that pressure on. I
I,
don't know.
I I don't know how it works because here's what happens, right? Like with Gulfstream especially, all these parts have a serial number, Peter. They come from the factory, like a serial number that the
Yep.
airplanes track. If they crash or they do something and they don't have an original part, oh my goodness,
Yep.
it's not gonna go well. So the aviation is not like the Hondas, right? Where Honda can go down to the Bronx by Fordham Avenue and pick up whatever part I want, made in China or made wherever. It doesn't work that way for aircraft, so it's a little bit more difficult to do that. Can they be doing it?
Sure.
Maybe. I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it.
Mhm.
Um,
You know,
we'll see,
if
man. I'm in
Trump
for the ride. I should go long Boeing
Yeah,
now.
okay. We'll see. Again, it could be China's opportunity. If Trump's saying, I'm willing to change the global paradigm, then China's like, we're right along with you then. So, like you said,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
may put a Chinese made part in there. And you're right. Typically, that would not have flown, pun intended, in the past. But now they're like, hey, this is what we're doing. Deal with it.
Yeah,
So,
and then here's the other thing
I
too,
don't,
right? And Europe does this to the U.S. all the time. They're like the leaders when it comes to aviation. They have the most restricted this airspace and everything. If you have your private jet, Peter, and you want to fly to Europe, if they don't approve certain instruments, you can't fly in their airspace.
right.
So America can get the same way too, saying, "Well, if you don't have original parts, you can't fly into my airspace." There's so many things you could do. Again, we're going way
That's,
beyond,
yeah.
what's acceptable, but
Who knows? Well,
who
yeah.
knows? Yeah,
Anyways, who knows? In the short term, we were just looking for trading opportunities, and I said Boeing actually, as a stock, though, has held up quite well this morning. I mean, it had an early morning drop, but look what it's done since. It's
yeah.
actually come up and held its price. So clearly, long-term investors in Boeing don't seem overly concerned at this point.
They're calling the bluff, man.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
You
calling
know
them.
what?
Unless you cancel
It
your orders, you're not
supports.
serious. Cancel your orders, and
Yeah,
we'll see if you're really serious.
supports
You
your
know?
thesis, that's for sure. So
Yeah. Airbus has plans in China, general assembly line. I am not sure. Um, but again, there's such a backlog on both of these airlines. I mean, we only have two, Airbus and Boeing, making these planes for the most part. This COMAC 6, whatever you guys are saying, the 191, doesn't even have FAA approval, so it can't even fly in Europe or the US. So, I don't know how that's going to work. But Airbus is France. Yes, it is. It is.
yes,
Uh, but
and
I
there's
don't.
there's other suppliers for regional jets, right? So we don't want to get too myopic, but the big jets, yeah, it's only Airbus and Boeing. But then
Yeah.
you've got like Bombardier out of Canada, you've got Embraer out of Brazil. They're Brazilian,
Embraer is
I think so.
Brazil? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, they got the
Don't
smaller
remember.
ones. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and those are all the regional jets, right? So, I mean, there's other plane manufacturers. Yeah, they're Brazilian. Yeah, but yeah. Well, hey, look, it's fascinating to speculate one way or the other. We're just watching. We're just trying to find what trading opportunities are going to give us the best opportunity to
Yeah.
make some money.
This is how I see it. If BA tried to kill people and they still didn't drop and went bankrupt, this is not gonna do a drop in the bucket here. It's just like, come on, doors are
Yeah,
flying off the planes. Oh, we drop a little bit, right back up. Like this stock is so resilient, man. It's unbelievable.
it's
Um,
surprisingly resilient, isn't it?
and it's because the hold they have on the market. When you have this hold on the market, you got nowhere else to go. You know, so T man, yeah, I'm gonna go long BA here just for you. Uh, no, I don't know, man. We'll see. But this stock is something else. It's like the Apple of airplanes here. Um, all right, what we got going on, guys? So let's see here. SPY. So did we know what the drop was about, Peter, or we just still don't have
No,
the
I
clear?
never found any news, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure what if anybody has a line on what the cause was. Let me know, but I didn't see anything
Hmm.
on the news feed. So, like you
Well,
said, could have been some speculative panic, could have been a random tweet. I don't see anything official, so but we don't need official notifications these days,
yeah,
as we've learned.
agreed. All right, I see Paris is gonna be jumping on here. I'm gonna go send our volume into the chat in a second, and Paris is gonna be jumping on a little bit earlier today. All right, we're in chat. Paris, I send you a link, so just turn off your mic here, and we'll see you from the vMix. All right, perfect. And we can't hear you if you're saying something. All right, guys. So again, nice drop here in the market today. I mean, we took some real good advantage here. Paris is going to come in. We'll see what he did here. But 3 trades for me here today. Long, short, didn't work out. And the second short for the scalp was really nice. The best trade of the day actually was the scalp on whatever news caused this drop here. We took advantage of that. So,
Hey, Carlos, can you hear me?
yes,
There
I
we go.
can.
Now
How
we
you
got
doing,
you.
brother?
Nice. How are you?
I'm
My,
good, man. Good. Let's get your.
let
Maybe
me
show your.
share my screen.
Yeah. Paris sounded very happy when he said, "How are you, man?"
He
So
he did. He
that
did. He
sounds
must
like
have
he
had
had
a
an awesome day. I
that
can't wait to see what he
that's a
did.
guy that had a good trade on
Oh
Tesla
yeah,
for sure.
Man, you got to believe. You got to see it to believe it.
you got to see it to believe it. I love this. All right, let's see. Where's this? Where I have you? Okay, here you are, buddy. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty
So
damn
yeah,
good, man.
Tesla popping up to the highs. I called out in the chat room. I added more back into the Tesla beauty.
My man's
Wow.
trained like a boss here. Love it, man.
Yeah,
Good,
no
good.
kidding.
Okay, selling some more. Man, this goes to 260 today. I want to see 260.
On Tesla 260, yeah, that's possible, man. You're 258, high of the pre-market, high of the day. So yeah, I could see that. Tesla was beautiful, man. It's been so strong all day today. What's the best opening stock this morning? And you took advantage of that. Andrew too. We saw Andrew's trade from the screens there. Also crushed it. Entries. You guys just killed it today with that. So that's awesome. All right,
Yeah.
man. Peter and I are gonna hop off. We'll leave you here with YouTube. YouTube friends, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I appreciate you guys. Hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. Let's make sure we keep those numbers cranking. That's the word of the day here. As we
I can't
Cranking, yes
believe
indeed.
Peter still has that
it was a
boom.
it was a beautiful thing. If you missed it, if you don't know what we're talking about, go back to YouTube and you can see Peter cranking his desk
I,
down.
come on, man. It's just it still works. The desk is fine.
Peter, show us real quick before we hop off. Show us the crank. Come on, show us the
Look,
crank.
you
Just,
like you
just
like
show
the
us.
crank here. Hold on, where's the? We got to get the camera angle. There you go. Here's my
So,
little crank.
look
See,
at that.
there we go. Look, it still works
Uh,
fine, right? Perfectly functional
if
desk. I don't need to change it.
Listen, friends, if you ever
Anyways,
have a flat tire,
Peter,
just hope you're with Peter. Because if you have a flat
yeah.
tire, Peter's gonna
You know
hook you up,
what?
man.
You know what? I actually do use now. Now we're going deep here, but I actually do use a bicycle pump to pump up my car tires manually. You can do that because they're low pressure. It's very easy. So, anyways, if you want to get a little exercise, you can use a bicycle pump to pump up your car tires. Anyways,
Awesome.
never
All right,
mind.
look,
See you later.
guys, we'll let you go. Look at Tesla rolling here, and yes, Andrew's still in Tesla, man. Wow, you guys are
man, this
awesome.
is
All right, Paris, we'll let you to it.
awesome. Yeah, I think 260 is in the books today. SPY is coming back up, and this is exactly what we were talking about uh, in the chat room as well, that SPY is definitely gonna look for break of the high of the day because PDC was the area that was holding up very nicely, absorbing all the selling pressure or the news that came in. And today is the day. Today is a risk on day to get back in into the positions. So Tesla, I am people. Anybody took that with me in the chat room? YouTube. I think YouTube. I just came in, but in the chat room, uh, I exactly called out. Awesome, awesome, guys. So many people in the chat room took that. This is awesome. Yeah, and I see that, guys, like, see the ads, the exact point areas where I get in, stock just follows the thing. Literally point blank to the bottom of the area where uh, you see it. And it's not a coincidence, guys. It's the tape. It's the tape on understanding where the buyers are trying to buy and the sellers are trying to sell. So awesome, guys. Awesome. So now it's pulling back. Let's see. So there's another news I seems like there was a big drop in SPY 2. So there's something other another news as well. But I think it's gonna absorb. It's absorbing, still absorbing. I think I should add more here. Let's see if it holds more and this is gonna bounce, guys. This is the buyers are again getting aggressive. Uh there was some news catalyst which led to an absorption, and now it's gonna break. I think yeah, I'm adding a little more. I'm adding a little more. It's very a lot of volume right now, but I'm adding a little more, not that aggressive size. But I want to see what the reaction is. They are trying to buy for sure. And sometimes you don't even need to know what the news is, guys. The tape and the order flow would just the flurry of order flows would come in and very, very strong order flow. And you see that drop coming in, but it wasn't an aggressive drop. It was like the dips were being bought back up. And that usually leads to the new highs if it holds pretty nicely. So let's see if it is going to lead to a new high or it would depend on the SPY, because SPY, if it sells off and goes below PDC, then Tesla and all of those stickers are going to follow. So Qs and SPYs are again now trying to sell off.
Carlos, you listening?
Yes, I am.
Can you share the screen back into the chat room?
Yeah, I don't know who stopped it, but yeah, we'll get it in there in a second.
Thanks.
So it is holding the 257. And I like the way it is holding, to be honest. It drops. I might even add more if it tries to hold it. Man, this is the time where it can absolutely go to 260. 260 is the level that I have on a daily. Yeah, 260 has been that, and actually break 260. Maybe breaks 260, gaps up tomorrow, and in a matter of a day or two, it'll be above 270. Let's see. It is definitely holding, but there is weakness here now. So I think it might pull back to VWAP again if the SPY is not trying to step up. My average is pretty good though. My average is below the PDC 252.07. So the SPY did try to go above the VWAP. Now things are selling off in SPYs and Qs as well. So let's see if they are trying to hold the PDC again. If it breaks the PDC, then I wouldn't. Man, Tesla does have that relative strength. Tesla does want to just keep bouncing. I'm adding more. Ah, I'm adding more on Tesla. There was some flurry of volume that came in. Let's see if it is able to hold this. Okay, somebody sold, dropped. Let's see. I'm looking for 260 today, guys. I think 260 is definitely possible on Tesla. And if SPY supports me today, we're gonna see 260. It's trending nicely too, to be honest. Okay, so Tesla is now popping up. SPY is, let's see if it holds to 257. 257 should be able to hold. Boom. Let's see that. Now we are in the business. Let's see if it holds 257. Yeah, couldn't hold the 257. Now it's trying to drop. Uh, let's see. So how was your day on YouTube, guys? So 260. So was Tesla's pure. So Brandon Smith, no, none of my trades would just be the tape play. Tesla was one of those trades where uh, it was, if you look at the daily chart on Tesla, if you see, this is the thing that I was looking at. So if it was making higher highs every single day, and I was trying to catch up on the trend. And if I catch up on the trend, I would initially 240 was bought, then the next day 242 was bought, then the next day 245 was bought, and then the fourth day it is 248 was the area. They were trying to jump the market, or the market makers or the bigger institution. They're trying to buy every single day $2 to $3 above the previous day's price. And that's a pattern. Like, this is how algorithms trade. Algorithms, they don't buy in a single day. They start when they have a big position to buy, they start scaling into the position in multiple days or multiple weeks. So because they have a big size and they want to maximize on their entries and exits. So that's how, usually, if you can understand how the algorithms trade, you can actually scale in. But it's just a thesis until proven that it is actually a buy. And that's second reason was on the fact that the the Tesla sold off, came back to 248, and this is the area where everything was being bought up. So Tesla was actually a laggard. The reason I'm saying is Nvidia popped up, PLTR popped up, Apple popped up, everything was popping up, but Tesla was the only one that was actually selling off in the first minute. Even the SPY was popping up. So that catches my attention, because the Teslas and these stocks, unless they have a specific catalyst to it, they tend to trade with the SPY and trade with the, where the market is. And that's where, okay, there were two things. One was the big picture idea, big picture trend. Second was the laggard on Tesla. And then third was the tape. And tape was literally at 248 for 3 minutes. 248 did not drop. It looks very small in the first minute, but it was 3 minutes that the 248 was holding. Like this 248, every single time it dropped 248, it was bought back up. 248, I went TL1 size, and I was like, okay, the third time it tried to drop, 248 again was bought back up. And this gives me an indication that, okay, this is a very heavy long. And that's where I went tier 2 size, scaled out to 251. My target initially was 251, risking like 50 cents here at this point. But when it started to hold the 250, and at the 251 area, I'm like scaling out aggressively, because 251 was the tape was not letting it lift. But eventually when it lifted, it's a matter of scaling out and scaling into the position. So that's where you start scaling in again at the pullbacks. Andrew did a very good scaling in at 250 and 254. I missed that particular move, but I started scaling in at 254 area. Right here, popped up and then scaling in, then came back to VWAP, scaled in again, popped up, scaled in again, popped up, scaled in again. And now I'm looking for a pop to 260. Maybe it comes back below and then steps up again if the SPY is strong. Or maybe it just starts selling off, comes back below VWAP, and if it goes below PDC or something, I might, if the trend changes, I might get out. Currently, I have a very good average, so I can hold to the stock. I see that the trend is trying to change. Like this trend was trying to hold every single time it came back to this area, it tried to hold. Now it's trying to break. Or is that a trap? Or is that something? Maybe steps up and then do it. It will come to know. So if it closes, holds below this area, and holds below this area for a longer period of time, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll get out. That's where I'll convince myself, or the stock or the price action convinces me that my character has changed. Until that happens, I'm gonna keep scaling in and scaling out on my positions. So my partials are usually 5% when I'm scaling out. Yeah, thanks, man. So, tier one, tier two size is dependent on the risk that I'm willing to take. So yeah, I have a defined risk. If I'm confident on a trade, I'll start scaling in I'll start going with different tier sizes. So tier one is usually my regular trades. If I see an A plus setup or A setup, I'll start scaling into a tier two position. And if I am very confident on a specific trade, I'll go with tier three or load the boat. So I usually have three tier size, and load the boat is that scenario where I'm like bang on. This is what I need to see and very confident on it. So guys, I am thinking of adding more on Tesla. Maybe if this is the one that I'm adding more on Tesla. Let's see if it has a chance to bounce here. So Tesla bounced. Let's see if it I want to see break of 257. 257 has been the seller who is trying to sell. So if 257 breaks again, I think 260 is possible. So Dawood, it can be a good shot to be honest. Like this is a good area to short. It broke the trend, and like if I was short biased, I would short here. Uh, but I have a good average that I can leeway on, and uh, and if this can work, I think it would be. I'm not seeing sellers selling pressure yet on the tape. I keep seeing the sellers are trying to drop, but the buyers keep stepping up, and that's why I'm like more bullish than bearish. But from a price action standpoint, yeah, it's a good shot. But from a tape standpoint, I don't see the sellers taking over yet. And that's why I need to match. I need to now there is something. The sellers are dominating, trying to dominate. Again, the buy stepped up. So no, no, not sellers are not dominated yet. So yeah, and I need a combination of two. I need the price action to match, and then I need the tape to confirm. So once that happens, then I would be willing to trade. Currently, I would never short it. But it doesn't mean that it's not a short. It could be a perfect, like, I think this could be a mountain pass trade. And if I don't know if Peter would kill me if I just named it for the heck of it. Oh, really, Thor? Uh, okay, I think it's already 11, so Thor, you're gonna come up, right? Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yeah, I'll just continue with YouTube if that's okay. So Carlos, if you can help. Yeah, thank you, Sam. Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone in the chat room. YouTube guys, I'm gonna continue with you for another hour and just take up any questions if you guys have. So what time frame do you look in chart? Hussein Ahmed, very good question. What time frame do I look at? For my strategies and planning, I like to uh, look at the daily 30-minute chart uh, for understanding where the trend is, where the price action is moving. However, for my tactical, for tactical positioning or tactical trading, like real-time trading, I use 1 minute and 5 minute, using the game plan from the 30-minute and daily. Netflix? I think Netflix was a good long. No, I was talking. Oh, what happened? Yeah, Netflix would be a long. I think I was talking about in the weekly review sessions that I take on Sundays, and Netflix was very bullish from my standpoint. And now it is the earnings. They're going to report on the earnings. They have already showcased how they plan on to become a $1 trillion company, and I think that's what it's gapping up above 950, and now it's breaking out. So yeah, I would a lot of times these tickers, and this is just if you're short, I don't know where you are short from, but this is usually a good, they're holding at a higher price, 978, maybe it goes to 974, 975, and then price for 1,000. But uh, but if you think it's gonna come back down to its original entry, that's very low probability of that happening. So Tesla has a relative, sorry, the Netflix has a relative strength. So Tesla is actually coming back to my break-even point, not even break-even point, but it's selling off. My my break-even point is 253 now. Can you day trade with just level one? Yes, Zuko, I can, but I won't be. I would not be confident. I think my probable my win rate would go, or my risk reward would go down exponentially. When you add to your trades, do you adjust the stop loss on your earlier entries considering? Yes, I do, Hussein Ahmad. I do change my stops. And it has to be technical in nature. And when I say technical in nature, like if I go long here and then when I add to the position, my technical nature should be below VWAP or PDC, like here. My add should be around this area or like below, way below the 251s because my entry was so nice. So this, and then when it comes back to the VWAP, that's where I add. It should be technical in nature. Like this is the area it was holding 252. My average should be below 252. Now I'm adding here because now things have changed. Now the support is now this one, 254. Now whatever I add to my position, my average should be below this 254, 253.50 area because that's where it should be technical in nature. If it starts holding again and like if it breaks out this and then holds again here, then my stop loss would change back to 254.50. So it has to be technical in nature. Technical as in it should be below an important support or resistance areas. So Kuldeep, it took me 3.5 years to be profitable. It was a long time, very frustrating time. Very yeah, who was short Tesla? I think that would have worked out for him. And it was looking like it was a break of the trend. But again, it's not, I don't see a domination of the sellers. I think it's just the pullback and eventually it would try to pop back up if the buyers take over again. But this is just a time of the day where stocks tend to consolidate, chop around here, there, and then eventually find a trend in the later part of the day. So I will still hold it below 253 and see if it stops me out at break even or I'm looking for 260, Sandra. Thank you, Bariza. What do you think about BAC to go long at BAC? Let's see what BAC is doing. BAC is actually stepping up for a long, but on a daily, it's not that. It's not, to be honest. I don't like it on a daily. The price action on a short-term time frame, it looks like a long. So to be honest, nothing. Like this is a stock which like moves 1 or 10, 15 cents up and down. It's not something that, as a day trader, you want to question yourself that which stock that I'm trading. Am I here to capture 10, 15 cents? You'll have a good liquidity, but the bidder spread is 0.101 and what's your risk reward? Like 10 cents to make 20 cents, 30 cents? Uh you can be a great trader, but if you are not in the right stock, you you are only as good as the stock you trade. So Bank of America is not the stock that you want to be in today's this thing. These are, I think, mostly dominated by algorithms. No, I do not use Bookmap. I've used it in the past, but it's not been. You want to stick to the basics. There's a hammer on Tesla 30-minute chart. There's a hammer on Tesla 30-minute chart. What does it mean? Let's look at the hammer. Where do you see a hammer? Right here? The second one, the second one? Third one. Do you consider this as a hammer? So what, yeah, I think one of the biggest people are in the world of trading and it's very difficult. I don't want to, you know, um, I don't want to say negative about anybody, but one thing is, it's one common thing that I have seen over the thing is people get so attached to the specific candle being formed is that and they take huge decisions based on that. Somewhere it does make sense to understand a bigger picture price action, but do not marry a candle's formation. Like hammer, yes, it's a bullish hammer. You want to see that. That's a good idea to think, but I don't even see this as a hammer. Let's remove it actually. Let's remove this. Like here, this is what I'm like, if you look at the way that I would look at it, right? This is a candle that uh forms the, what do you call? Oh, my battery died. Camera battery. Oh. Yeah, we'll have to live without the camera, guys. My camera battery died. So so what I'm saying is, this candle pattern, this is a bullish pattern, right? This is a bullish candle with a wider body. Very nice pattern. And then when it tries to pop up, of course, it's going to find some sellers here because it's too extended from 250 to 258 and it dropped. But one thing, and a lot of people would go short here, thinking, oh, it's a bearish hammer, let's go short. But understand the context here. Understand the context that it is, the important level was this. It was trying to, it's broke, this pre-market was selling off. It broke this particular pattern and the buyers were able to hold this thing. So if I want to do this from a bigger picture context, I would want to long it. And okay, the sellers took over at this point, but this is just a pullback. Now, what I'm thinking is, now the next thing that I want to think is, okay, now there was another seller that came in, but the seller was not strong enough to close it to the red. The seller was, yes, of course, when the price expands, you will see some profit taking and everything. But was the seller that dominant enough to uh, to close it in red? No. They tried to, you want to understand what the price action is telling you. The seller sold, sell. And then ideally, if it was dominant, it would have closed below this and below an important level. It didn't. And that's why the buyers were still dominating in this candle, even though it's a long wick, but try to understand that buyers were still trying to hold that particular level. And now it is, these levels are 255 becomes a point, and now they're trying to break out on this thing. So it's always understand the candles in a perspective. The same candle, when it's like, if this candle, the same candle right here, this candle was, if I would just copy and paste this candle here at this point, then it's a very bearish sign. But at this point, it is not a bearish sign. The same candle. And that's why understanding the perspective is really important. Understanding the context is really important. In which context is it doing? And a lot of people get confused with just they see the candle and they trade based on it, which should not be the case. Understand the context, if that makes sense. If you can see, I don't have that pretty face, guys. It's uh so PLTR bouncing. Oh man, PLTR. Fuck. Yeah, I'm messing on PLTR. PLTR broke and I think Tesla is gonna do the same thing. I think Tesla broke the 257. So now let's see if Tesla breaks the 250. Let me bring up the chart. Yeah, thank you, Kuldeep. So come on, the PLTR is a boss. And the reason I was very long biased on PLTR, because PLTR was the only stock that did not sell off yesterday, and today it was even gapping up. Sell off hasn't it sold off, but it was like held the gap up. And this is usually when this thing happens, it just tend to rally. So this breakout above the 92 area, it gapped up and then held the gap at this point. And today was the day where PLTR was a buy. I missed it, to be honest. What a level it worked out. Exactly the same levels that I was tracking. 93 popped up to 95, held the 95, same area, popped up to 97, and that 97, 96 area, 96, 75 area, this becomes the important area for to do this, and then comes back this thing. So yeah, Tesla PLTR was a perfect, and these are the stocks you want to participate. You know, this 93 to 97, these are like dollar move that you can with the same risk. Like bid ask spread is still was 1 cent or 2 cents. So it's still very liquid, very, and these are the trades you, as a day trader, you want to capture these moves because you can risk like 15, 20 cents or 25 cents to capture like a dollar, $2, $3. Like this move would have given you like $4, $5 move, which is, you make your week, you make your day, and that's how you do it. Okay, so Tesla is coming back up. So let's sell some Tesla. My ads have worked out really nice. So let's look at sell some Tesla, breakout on the, let's see, let me wait for 258. So 257 needs to hold here. Let's see, it is gonna it's gonna find some fight at 257. So Hussein Ahmed, uh, if you are a new trader and if you are new to, like if you are a beginner or an intermediate, one of the biggest issues that I don't see issues, one of the biggest uh, uh, incorrect things that people do is focus on psychology too early. The reason we are psychological beings. We will have emotions when things are not in our favor. We will have emotions running in and out. Okay, so now I'm taking some off. I think it's gonna, let's see if it gives me a chance of one more pop to the upside. No, it didn't. So let's wait. So one of the things that, let us like I usually give this example a lot, that let us say you are driving a car, okay, and you are trying to get to a destination, okay, and you do not have a GPS, you do not have a map. Think about how much emotionally you would be impacted to reach to a destination. Think about how psychologically you'll be like, maybe the way, you have an idea to go, have a little bit of idea on where to go and where to fall, but you will be so psychologically impacted. Oh, what if I miss a turn? What if I take a wrong route or take a wrong exit? Or what if I something happens? So you'll be emotionally impacted, right? But now let us say uh, you have, in this case, you know the exact route. Now you have very specific uh, what what things you need to do, that you need to take this exit, you need to have exactly path, you have already seen the map, and you are trying to get around with that. So when you get into that, you will exactly know which exit to take, which route to take, which everything, but you will still be very psychologically impacted. Why? You will be better than before, but you will still have that feeling that, I hope I don't miss a turn, or I don't hope I miss, and you'll still be looking here and there and trying to, make sure that you don't make a mistake. Now, in the third scenario, imagine that you have a GPS in front of you and it's guiding you step by step and telling you what the thing is. Tell me how the emotionally or psychologically impacted you would be. Very much less than that. But yeah, yes, GPS could give you a wrong route, maybe 1 or 2% of the time, but 98% of the time it gives you a very exact, where you have to go, and it would also guide you if you missed your turn or something. So uh, trading is like that. The more people who are, focusing more on the psychological piece, if human beings are emotional beings, psychology will always be there. The more technical you get, the less psychology will come in front of you. The more and how technical do you get? By creating a very well defined playbook, by creating a clear definition of risk management, by creating a clear definition of what is my entry criteria, exit criteria. The more technical, by reading more and more tape at any given point of time, that's where you would get, then less and less of the psychological or emotions would get into picture. So yeah, try getting more technical. That's what my short answer is. That how do you understand? Like it's a complete opposite way to do it than focusing on your mental being. Just focus more on a technical piece of it. So Trade Canada, I do have a course, and I do take weekly review sessions every week, and I have monthly tape reviews sessions. So if you want to explore uh, if you want to learn the skill for tape reading, I would highly recommend to explore the course that I have, and where you meet with me on a weekly basis for a mentorship sessions, and yeah, and it comes with mentorship sessions and the monthly tape review sessions live. So check that out, and so now things are selling off. I don't like that. It can chop around like this all day. I should have taken some exit at 2. I was too greedy to wait for 258. I saw that there was a seller right there. So Rahul Datta, I go with forward testing. Back testing is difficult. Let's just look at the number of the trades you take. Look at the playbook that you have and start doing forward testing to it. Like just take 10 trades that you took on that playbook and see what you did, and see if you can refine those trades and to maximize your reward. Yes, Sandra, I used the tape to understand that if the seller was there. So I think Team Wearable Traders has sent a link. If you want to check that out, Mr. Trader, uh, on the course. So sign up. Let's. So check that out. So Hardeep, if you're only talking about level 2, then I would say Bookmap is because it's a pictorial presentation of level 2. But if you're talking about time and sales, you have to stick to the basics. Bookmap doesn't give you time and sales. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna get out. I'm all out on Tesla. All out on Tesla, guys. It is still having that relative strength, but the sellers are taking over again. So I'm not 255 will start bouncing for sure. Yeah, the spice closed off below that as well. Mm. That SPY is bouncing again. Now Tesla is a good chance. I think my exit was bad. I think this was literally the support area. This was the area that was a support area. If if not sell, there should be a buy. Yeah. And also at the VWAP too. Yeah, not a great exit. Let's look at what Bull is doing. Bull is now doing nothing. Yeah, PLTR 97 is, yeah, 97 is that area. This bounce and then second bounce and then so the PLTR. Now things are more into the weaker side. What is SPY doing? I think SPY is a good shot now. If it's 540 has been holding all day. and they keep circling around to 540. So now things are selling off. So I was the SPY is looking good for a short. Tesla went below VWAP. Yeah, but Tesla still has that relative strength, to be honest. Yeah, Ahmed, don't try to. That sucks, but it's a part of the game. Don't try to make it back over again. And take a break, take a day off, come back tomorrow. Yeah, SPY is going down. I would be shorting SPY, but Tesla has lost VWAP, so and that's where like I saw that weakness before I got out. But do I think it's a short? I don't think so. The meat of the move, I do not think Tesla has a meat of move on the short side. SPY was a good shot. I was thinking of shorting SPY, but I'm already done for the day. And so going starting tomorrow, guys, I'm traveling to Europe for 2 weeks. So I would not be available starting tomorrow, and I'll be back on the first week of May. I'm traveling to Switzerland, Germany, and Ireland. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you, Cindy. I'm going to Munich only for a day, though. Not really. To be honest, not really. I don't. Paris and Paris? Not yet. I think this is my first time traveling to Europe, so I'm very excited. I've never been to Europe before. So, so currently just, and this is, I think this travel is more, uh, It's more of a spiritual tour as well. So, oh, very nice. World tourist in EU. Yeah, I'm attending a spiritual event uh happening in Zurich. And actually volunteering as well. So big wrestler. So Lauren, I usually don't. Uh, I like to just focus on the things that I am in. Like if I'm vacationing, I want to focus on that. Uh, I still carry my laptop though. But in case if I have that leverage or if I have time and then like it's not a hard and fast rule, but if I have time and I'm doing some like if I have some like exactly available at 9:30 a.m. between 9 and 11, then I would uh, plan to trade. But it's usually never. 1 or 2 days has been that exception, and only when like everything matches with. I don't create time for it, but time automatically matches with me with the trading market hours. So yeah. No, I do not think so. 255, I do not think it's a good level to short. The reason I do not think so is that I do not see sellers dominating yet. Even though you see that Tesla is dropping right now, but it's this is just a pullback, and I think that Tesla every single time it's not an a imbalance of sellers. It is more like sellers take over, then buyers take over again, sellers take over, and I see that the buyers keep trying to step up. They're fighting. And when I'm trying to take a position, I don't want them like buyers and sellers fight with each other. I want a clear dominance. I want to see that a buyer is a dominant factor or a seller is a dominant factor. If I don't see something like that, I think in this case, I'm more inclined towards the long than a short because every single time the seller is trying to sell, the buyers keep stepping up. And now they have already rallied in the morning. I would want to see a continuation at this. The thing that I would, if I was not done for the day, this is the place where I would think about going long than going short. If the SPY uh, was in my favor, and SPY is holding too. If you look at it, this 540 is the area that it's holding. So, it doesn't mean that it cannot drop. It's just that for me, it doesn't make sense to me. So I would rather avoid it. And it's to be honest, this is not a good area to long either. Like if I was on a position, I would think about adding, but this is not a good area to long either. It has broken the VWAP. Now it's trying to pull back. It's on a downtrend. And moving averages are converging as well. But from a tape standpoint, I see that the buyers keep stepping up. That's the only thing I see. But I don't trade the tape. I trade the price action. I trade the trend. I trade a lot of things. If you just look at this point on me, every single time there's a seller takes over, the buyer steps in. So yeah. Yeah, I agree, Pig Wrestler. I think that's exactly what I wanted to say. It's better to be stay flat because we are just mentoring with the price range. See, like Tesla came back. So it isn't a short. Today is one of those days, M games. What I'm seeing is doesn't matter what news hits in, the buyers are just absorbing it. The buyers are like, it doesn't matter what the news is. Like there were a couple of news that hit. If the buyers were weak and the sellers were aggressive, it should have easily dropped by now. But they are, they are what do you call? Uh, they are holding it. But you know what? If it drops 540, any news that it drops 540 and loses the PDC, you will see a very quick downside at the this thing. Because the buyers were very aggressive, and that's why, watching the market helps you. Try to see how the buyers are interacting, you try to see how the sellers are interacting, and all the buyers would be trapped below this 539.50. If it comes below this, then very quickly you'll see the low of the day, like low of the pre-market as well, 535. Guys, throw us a like if you like what you see. Last before I last trading day for me before I go to Europe. So we have close to 400 plus people watching right now. So I appreciate all the likes, guys. If you can throw us a like, it helps with the channel. And really appreciate you hanging out with us. It's so now SPY is dropping off. Today is the tax day too. So people who haven't filed their taxes, including me, please either file for extension or file your taxes. Oh, anything interesting that is happening? What happened to the metals that were in play today? Any metal? Yeah, everyone waits for the last minute, including me. So SPY is actually selling off now. And games. Yeah. And with the trading and LLCs and all of that, you have to like, it's very complicated too. So yeah, I'm gonna file for extension as well. Okay, some volume came in again, so 540 is defending again. Let's see if it's holds. I think these volumes are usually uh, the in the current market they have been shorting the pops. Usually this volume just leads to this pops, but today I think it is different. Today I think it is gonna continue. Today I think it's been holding that area 540 on SPY, 459 on Qs. They are there to hold that price, and they are here to rally that price. Yeah, this is a place I would go long, to be honest. The volume came in. 255 was a good area to go long. Now it's I don't want to chase it. The volume came in pretty nicely though. Now it's gonna break the highs. Nvidia is very strong today, guys. Nvidia is that 112, that area that was holding, that was held up pretty nice. I'm thinking of taking a long on Tesla if it gives me a chance. So Tesla is coming back again to 255. So 255 never held. It turned out to be the pop and drop. But 540 is still that criteria. So we'll see if it holds here. This is an area that it should hold. See if it pops here. Yeah, the longs are taking over. Yeah, I think it's gonna pop right now. Let's see if it. Yeah, nothing there, to be honest. I'm not gonna touch it. Let's just. Okay, guys, wrapping up. Have a great rest of the day. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. And keep it going, guys. Take care.